We should be live by now. Can anyone check? I'm gonna check myself. Why do I need to rely on you guys? I don't trust you guys. Yeah, I don't trust you guys. Hey, hey, today I'm all in for the smoke. Today I'm all in for the smoke. Everyone's getting it. Let me see. We are live. Hey, yeah, first of all, I wanna apologize to everyone, including my own panel members, for being late. Like, I swear, OBS was on some fuck shit. Now I have it done, set up where it's not gonna screw me over again. Finger crossed. This is episode 7 of Gameplayer Podcast. Tonight is going to be a fun one. Beyond Good and Evil is a game I truly love, and we're gonna definitely talk about that. Also, what the fuck is a blockchain and NFT? Well, Nate and we are gonna break it down for you guys. And last but certainly not least, Jody did her research on Nintendo and their plan on acquisition. Third party title. Before we do that, let's introduce our panel members. Let's start with. Let me see who is. I'm pretty sure it's Weave. That's the first one. No, yeah, Blue. Yeah, Weave. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Yeah, very well. So how was it? Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. Just make sure if you want to play that game, to make sure to not get stuck with that whole glitch. There's a glitch in yeah. I'm pretty sure what's called Persona saved you, right? Yeah. Shout out to Persona. Me too, when I get the game. I mean, sorry, Lucy. So, who's next? Nate, go ahead, introduce yourself. Yeah, good morning. You're busy with Borderlands, eh? You're not really focusing. Yeah. Guilty, guilty of charge, guilty of charge on all accusations. Okay, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. I sound good. You innate and the rest all sound low. We need to fix. Yeah, not you. Everyone is low. He's saying. Uh, yeah. How do I do that then? Is it how how do I? Yo, we have fucking gaming despair in here. Let's fucking go. My sorry, but how do I turn it up? Where on Discord or OBS? Oh, rip me. I have absolutely no idea how OBS works. So I go to settings, then audio, then what? Mm-hmm. Um, I'm gonna invite you again to check it, cause I give up. No, yes, it's trash. King Trash was always was helping me before, and then my laptop broke. Sub, you can't make it there. I was expecting that, but thanks for showing up. Nice. Hey, you always know you're more than welcome here, eh? Take care, Despair. Wait, what did you say in 8? Oh wait. Okay, hey, everyone, stop talking for a second, because I wanna testing. Cyber Dragon, can you hear Blue? Blue, talk a bit. So Cyber Dragon, can you hear him? Cyber, can someone go on YouTube and listen to it? Cause wait, yes, Omar, you sound fine. Everyone else is really low. They still low. Uh, how? How so? I've done nothing. But okay, so now. It is. Okay, so when I talk, it's jumping very loud. But when you're talking, it's hella low. Yeah, it's the same audio track. Yeah. How do I? How do I do that? Yeah, there is a delay, yeah. So how do I turn, that's the issue. I can always turn my mic low. That's not a problem. But how can I turn you guys up? We can fix that another time, but I wanna know how can I turn that up now. Yeah, I might be now streaming Discord OBS was on some fuck shit, and this was the only way I was able to make it work. So how can I turn? Oh, you can't see. How come? Oh yeah. How do I do that again? 1 second. So close this stream, and now, did I leave? Yeah, I left. Sorry guys, I left. So I know I go to screen, and then go application, and then which one I want to showcase. Oh, screen, okay. And then one screen. Yeah. Again, to everyone else here who is here. Sorry about that. OBS is on fuck yet. So, 1 second. Talk and look. Oh, you can see my screen now, right? Now, talk and look how far the green bar goes. Yeah, do you see? It doesn't even react. Yeah. Mm-hmm. advanced audio property or properties. Oh, it's coming from my mic. I need to change it to what? I am hearing you guys from either my TV or my laptop. Let me try my TV and see if that works.
Try the TV.
It's really good.
Okay, now
Okay.
testing 1, 2, 3. You see it
Yeah,
now?
we should be good now.
So
Okay.
that should be much better.
Blue, go ahead, give a test.
1, 2, test.
Yeah, keep talking for a few seconds. Yo, Chris Reicher.
Okay.
What's good?
Hello. Hear me? Blah blah blah.
Where's Chris Righteous? Oh, he's in chat. Hi, Chris.
So I really think we should be good now, unless
Alright.
I need to break my laptop and throw it in the. So Cyber Dragon, can you hear Blue correctly? Loud
Is
now?
it your laptop?
This is my brother's laptop. He gave it to me because mine broke.
Okay, then you can't try it through the window.
So can you
Yeah,
guys hear?
when he changed the audio now, it actually shows it adjusting now.
Yes,
So
sounded
yeah, see?
We should be good.
There we go,
great.
baby.
Cyber
Shout
says
out-
we're good.
Sounded great.
All
Shout out
right.
to you, Cyber Dragon. Blue,
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Cyber Dragon.
Blue, go ahead. Tell in short what you're playing.
Oh, again?
Yeah, because they couldn't hear you.
Alright. I'm playing currently Space Other Charlie. And before that I was playing Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's awesome.
And it's awesome, eh?
Yes.
Okay then. We have Akira, and we're gonna go later to you. Nate, go ahead.
Yeah, again, just Innate, or known as the real Innate on Twitter, as well as Xbox. Currently playing Forza Horizon 5. Like I said, which earlier is a lot of fun. Just definitely waiting for some of these patches to come out and go live. I'm also playing Guardians of the Galaxy as well, which I've started, which looks great. But like Blue said, I got to get a little bit further, and test some complexity and see how that goes. So far, so good, though. The banter is definitely what everyone says it is. I'll give it that. So the banter is on point from the jump. So that's been a lot of fun. Also playing Borderlands 3, the guilty pleasure, right? Eventually Morgan, evidently.
Yes, you will.
Oh yeah, we're gonna drag her from her hair tie. We're not gonna drag her from her hair. We have the tech, but we're gonna drag you from your hair tie. You need to play Borderlands.
I'm going to because you guys talk about it so much.
Yeah, it's fire. I'm
wait,
actually playing for the
wait,
DLC for the first time. So.
Wait, Nate, Cyber Dragon is saying there is a delay. When you ask the chat for a response, and the response is tight, 20 to 30-second delay.
Oh, I
mean,
think
that's
they're
fine.
referring to when we was communicating before.
Yeah, there's always a delay.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's
about
standard.
that. Okay, gotcha. J-Cat, go ahead.
Hi, what is up, everyone? Thanks for having me on the paddle. So I have been playing lately. I'm still playing Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. I wanted to have it finished before 5 came out, which came out yesterday. And I do have that special gorgeous premium edition, which actually did arrive to me. But some stuff came up during the week. Didn't have time to finish for Apocalypse. So I'm still playing that right now. I'm really happy to be here on the panel. Sorry, what was that, Kay?
What you been playing?
No, okay. No, I thought they were talking to me. Yeah, so that is what I've been playing lately. But I'm really happy to be here on the panel. I'm generally someone who likes to talk about games, the video game industry, especially about sales, and especially about Japan and Japanese games. So that's what I like to I tweet about that often. So yeah, that's what I'm up to lately. I'm going to finish 4 Apocalypse this weekend, hopefully, and then I will start 5. So I'm really looking forward to it. It looks amazing.
Okay then. Well, you just got modded, so make sure to abuse that.
I will.
Go ahead, Kay. Introduce yourself.
Hi, it's Kay. I'm working right now, so I apologize if you hear any like little talking in the background. It's the navigation talking. Um, so that's probably what you heard, Jody. I forgot to mute myself.
Yep. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll mute myself when I'm not talking, so to minimize you guys hearing the navigation
Yeah,
talking.
no, it's okay.
Anyway, so I just got done playing Borderlands 3 with Omar and Ine and my brother. So I finished. I
we had
finally
a
got through the
blast, yeah?
story of that. Yeah,
We
that
had
was
a
a lot of
blast.
fun. Yes. Um, Even though I'm disappointed with the story,
Yeah.
get one going over, please. Sorry.
They did
Even
Maya dirty.
Yeah, even though I'm disappointed with the story, the gameplay itself is still really fun. Like it's Borderlands gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's fun, it's addicting, it's like it's like a power fantasy when you get the right weapons and everything. Like I love the powers and all the tree skills, the skill tree that they
Question.
come up with for this thing.
1 second, Kay.
Yeah.
Does she sound clear? She doesn't sound that clear to me.
I mean, that's probably the best you're going to get right now because she's just in the truck working.
Yeah,
So.
she's at work, like she said. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making sure
Yeah.
that it's not on my end. Go ahead,
Mm-mm.
continue.
Okay. Well, anyways, so I do love pretty much everything about the game except for the story.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
But besides that, so now that I finished that, I still need to get through 13 Sentinels. I have started it, but then I went home and then I started it, but then I went home for a week and I played Borderlands 3. But now that I'm back on the road and I finished Borderlands 3, I'm going to finish 13 Sentinels. And then there's a few other games on my list that I'm not quite sure which one I want to play after 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, okay. Well, after 13 Sentinels, or even before when you're done, I'm gonna game share with you. You can try Death Stranding and see it for your liking or no.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm actually going to play that on PC. So if I do get it,
Okay.
You get shut down, Omar.
So what I wanted to say
but I would
is,
like to try it out, like to see what the gameplay is.
oh yeah, I also want to say shout out to you for starting Daring Chan. That made me fucking happy. I am.
Oh yeah, I started the audiobook. Turkey Freak.
I am on book 2 now and having a blast. I am fully almost aware what happened in most situations, but I don't remember how we get from point A to point B. Like for example, I know what's gonna happen to a person or to a situation, but I don't remember how we get there. But
Oh yeah, I started book 3 the other night.
which book 3?
Yeah.
Wow, you're ahead of me. Nice.
I mean, it's an audiobook, and all I do is sit in a truck all day, so
Yeah,
I got the time to listen.
my biggest issue with the audiobook is some of the voices that he make is very unclear what they think. Like for example, when he's talking with as Darren Chan, it's very clear. When he's talking as the other dude, the vampire, it's also clear. But when he's talking like as Mr. Tall or Mr. Destiny, then he sounds very weird, like he have a weird voice. But other than
I
that,
think he's just trying to differentiate the characters by slightly changing his voice as much
yeah.
as he can.
But other than that, I truly, 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 truly recommend Darren Chan to anyone that is uh, a fan of vampire. Like, this is genuinely one of the best, if not the best and most realistic illustration of a vampire, the concept of vampire. I truly believe if not PlayStation, if Sony, I don't know if it's a Sony issue or not, but if Sony, they made a movie out of this, and they actually went the comedy route with it instead of a, a real route with it. If they have done so, this could have easily rivaled Harry Potter.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a franchise called Darren Chan. It's about vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I was gonna call you soon anyway. So,
Nate, are you on phone? Or he might be talking to his girlfriend.
He got bored. He got bored of us talking about an
Yeah,
audiobook.
yeah. Morgan, go ahead. Introduce yourself. Morgana.
when do you
There you go.
the house?
Hey everybody, it's
Takes
Morgan,
me about 30 minutes.
aka Chill Bandit. Currently actually on PlayStation right now. I'm playing I'm playing Planet. I need something to help out my anxiety, and this always does. So I'm back on playing this, and I'm also playing Guardians of the Galaxy. And like everybody on the panel who's played it said, it's amazing. If you haven't played it yet, I highly, highly suggest it. If you enjoy, single player games, and if you've played Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man, you'll enjoy this. It's really fun. It's very engaging. The story's great. The characters are compelling. And it just keeps getting better as, it's not, when I first picked up this game, I thought maybe we were going to get a surface level, for these characters. Like they were just going to kind of brush over them a little bit, but, they'd focus more on what the story was about. But we get like a deeper insight to these characters and who they are and what makes them, them. So I highly recommend this game if you haven't picked it up yet. It's really good. But yeah, that's it.
I am so jealous of all of you playing Guardians of the Galaxy. You might see me in your house in a few days.
I wouldn't even be mad.
With a mask and a fake gun, and saying, "Hey, give me that game." But hey, only after you finish it. I'm a gentleman.
So you're a nice thief.
Pretty sure.
I'll sell it after you're done.
I'm glad you're taking the effort to go all the way to the US to steal Morgan's game instead of mine.
Yeah. Well, I would go to you, Weeb, but you're still playing it, so it's unfair to take it away from you.
Okay.
I need to take it from someone that's already
How kind of you.
Zarek, go ahead, introduce yourself.
Rick.
What's going on, y'all? Well, I'm the Rec, on Twitter. And so right now the game I'm playing is Bloodborne. I lost my save data, and so I got to start all the way from last year's save data, which put me at level 48, which my original level was at 100 or something. And so I got to kind of start. Well, that's good. It's a good thing I did start over because I get to go get the platinum for that. And so, but I am playing Neo with Enzo Machiavelli. And so I go off and play Neo 2 as well. Since Neo 2 is the beginning, it's the prequel for the first Neo. But other than that, I got Scarlet Nexus coming in the mail. I paid $20 for it.
Ooh,
the Nexus tells you why.
Nice. That's a W.
Oh yeah. Like I said, check out GameFly, y'all. Hey, they got some sales going on
Dude,
over there, man.
dude, we don't have gameplay here.
Oh,
Um,
oh man. Well,
We
that's
have
they got a lot of.
nothing. We have nothing. You buy your game and you call it a day. That's it.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But
we're the real gamers.
But
And we don't.
even then, I would still want to own my games. So.
No. He's saying he
Uh,
bought it from GameFly.
yeah, you can buy it from the.
You can
Oh,
buy it.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
mhm,
buy
You
it.
can rent it for a little bit.
yeah.
Yep.
So then
And
innate,
so
not innate, the rec. I might pull up at
mhm.
your house after you're done with Scarlet Nexus. But I'm
What
pretty
is that?
sure you're gonna be busy with it, like 100 hours, if you wanna get the
Yeah.
full story and the plot and all that jazz.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it too.
yeah, this
You
game is
should. It's a good
fantastic.
game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And lastly but not least, we actually missing what's his name? Race.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know what it
You got
is,
tired of
but
your BS.
if he is busy, he is busy. Uh, Stone can join because she is yeah, have something to need to take care of, and yeah,
she's in
Akira.
spaces again.
Apparently, you are now beloved. Deaf people are loving to hate you. Like you put out a tweet, a freaking tweet, just wanting to join. It's not per se you want to join. It's just you're passionate. Like what's with people mad at other people that are passionate? Like uh, like how do we go from it's amazing that you're celebrating gaming, that you're celebrating your hobby, to now call it attention seeking? You never asked for a follow, you never asked for a like, you never said anything, you just wanted to join the
Yeah,
photography uh, because you're a fan of the game Miles
yeah.
Morales, which you should be. It's an amazing game, and
Hmm.
you wanna try out with what's called
Yeah, virtual
Virtual photography.
photography.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
and
very
then
inspired by these people. It's just
and
amazing people, man.
and then a brain dead fuck said, "Attention, pay attention to me." Like, dude, clearly you need to pay attention to, cause you don't have anything else to do with your life. Like, I don't understand what this is. Is it? Do they get money every time they hate on you?
I don't know, man. You know, the funny part was that guy seems like, from based on his bio, he's kind of like some kind of writer, right? Some kind of journalist. So uh, the thing that he's projecting towards me is I get nothing from it, but he needs that. Like, it's his money, it's his bread and butter, right? I mean, if he's trying to he's trying to be a journalist, trying to make money with, game journalism, which requires attention. If you know what I mean. It requires the clout, and I don't need any of that. I don't gain anything from clout,
all you
which
do
is
is
why,
all you do is you're gaming, you're passionate. Like, don't worry,
yeah,
I seen your spam of judgment, I seen your spam of bloody roar. Shout out to bloody roar. I've seen your
yeah.
spam of old school games. Like, you're a fucking gamer, and you're celebrating your hobby, and
Yeah.
attention seeker, cloud chasing.
I think, I don't know, like I had a higher follower count than that dude, and I don't know. So people seems to go after my follower count a lot. Like, they say, you know what, you're always gonna get these people because because you have big follower count, and I
You
don't
passed
really.
the 2K mark, bro. That's all that matters.
People
Yeah, I
get
know.
like
Yeah.
I know a person that had almost 10, 20,000 or something followers, and he just started over just because he doesn't care. Like, people put too much credit in Twitter credit. Like, Twitter credit is not credit you can
It's so
use
confusing, man.
in
Like I'm not
real
even
life.
that big if you think about it. I'm not even that big. It's I got like I don't even know. Wait, I got about 4,100 followers, right?
Oh,
I'm not
great.
really that
Akira,
big.
Tweet
Akira,
out the show again. Akira,
you created
out
a
the
meme,
show.
right?
Yeah, I created a meme, the one
Yeah,
with the Johnny Silverhand profile picture
yeah,
when I used
yeah.
to
So,
cap for
so,
Cyberpunk a lot.
so then, it's unavoidable. Everybody will hate you because you created a meme.
But yeah, I'm playing Miles Morales. By the way, I need somebody to game share with me Guardians of the Galaxy. I need to try it for myself. I don't know. Like I am starting to get enticed by all these praise. Like
You got
it's not a
to,
lot
Akira.
of
You'll love it.
it's not a lot of times where you see a game where there's almost no division in the praise. Like everybody who played the game just really loves it. Like
Yeah.
there's not even. I expected an Avengers situation where the fan base is kind of divided, right? Like people love it, people hate. But no, Guardians of the Galaxy, the community is so tight. Like they all love this damn game as long as they played it, right? And I'm so enticed by that. I want to know what they did so right, and I want to experience that. But I need somebody
And
to game share with me so that you know I could pull
They
that
applied
trigger. I just need that
the
push.
same formula.
You know, if anybody willing
That's
to
it.
game share one of these days,
I got
I
you.
would, I would totally be open with that, man. Like Black Friday is coming, and I plan to buy some games
Oh, snap. You're right.
for sure.
Akira,
Yeah.
what's called? Chris Wright is giving you your L again.
What?
Because it's not that you used to cap, but you really
What?
used to go all out for Cyberpunk and
Ooh.
disaster.
Oh
We,
yeah,
we,
yeah. No,
we,
no.
we don't
I
talk
used
about
to.
that.
No. I'm not gonna hide. I was really going hard. I was full fanboy mode for Cyberpunk. I had my Teen Fallout hat on, like for Cyberpunk.
So how did you feel
So
about taking that L?
I actually remember when people tried to talk to you, talking some sense to you, like, dude, this might not be it.
I completely ignore all
You
the
ignored them.
telltale signs.
You
Yeah.
called them salty.
Yeah, exactly. I was very combative about the cyberpunk hate back in the day. Yes, I was very, very, yeah, I was defending it until death, basically.
And then
Then
you
you
ate a
know,
humble pie, yeah?
yeah, then yeah, I was disappointed as fuck. I mean, look, from what I played or what I'm able to play, the game has something going for it. The problem is the crashes really took me off, and it was a shame because I was somehow enjoying what I'm playing, but yeah, the crashes was really, it was breaking my groove, and I hate that shit.
Well, we actually have someone by the name of Innate that is also a massive fan of Cyberpunk, and he was
Is he now?
also a bit of disappointed with it. But he had a
bit?
3090.
You're being too kind, man.
Oh,
That
hold
was
up. No, we can
disappointing.
run that back. Hold on. I got 165 hours in that game. Playthrough two of three. Yeah, I love Cyberpunk. So
Man.
I mean,
All right.
yeah,
I'm about to get
All right.
disrespected.
No, I respect that. All right.
but everybody can't play on an RTX 3080. So
Hey, that's
I mean,
exactly
I
what
get
I
that.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Hey, it is what it is.
Oh, that what it is, huh? Yeah,
Innate,
okay.
even
I get
even
it.
even on PC, it was an abysmal. Like,
In Ante's PC.
Oh nah,
bro.
fam. I was having a ball.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
He was
I don't. Yeah,
yeah.
I can't
He
say
would be
for
pulling up
anybody
those
else.
You'd be pulling up those CMD command prompts just to make a game. No, I'm just joking. No, you
Yeah,
don't need that.
You'll be
Yeah, go
having a
ahead.
ball.
No, you don't need that. No.
Go ahead,
Yo.
But
Akira.
no, I was, what's the funny part in Ante? I was Wooly podcast, right? He said this question that would you play a multiplayer on PC or on console? And what I said is basically this: as long as I got the option to play a game on PlayStation, even if it's on PC, I would play it on PlayStation because I don't really like needing to adjust my settings and shit just to be able to play a game, and I'm too lazy for that. That's why I would only play a
how you
PC
said
game
you're
if
too
it's
lazy.
only on PC. I'm
I
too
love
lazy,
how you
yeah.
said
I'm a
you're too
lazy
lazy.
gamer. I'm a lazy gamer.
Same.
So
Same.
like I want to plug and play shit. Like you put that disc in there, you don't need to adjust anything. Maybe some accessibility or some fidelity performance thing. That's it. Like with mouse, it's just it's a press of a button.
Oh no,
Easy.
no,
That's what I
I
want.
get
Yeah,
that.
and
On
like,
PC
yeah,
is
no,
that
no,
easy for me though. So it's like
no,
for
it's all
PC
good.
is
Yeah,
as easy. Like I can start it right now, no adjustments. It's already on ultra
yeah,
settings and I'm in. So it's a matter. But I don't expect everyone to do that. Like
yeah,
when I speak about
yeah.
PC, it's my personal experience. Like I foreseen my gaming is all about balance with maximum performance and efficiency. So I'm not the dude out here with the 3090 and it's like if you ain't playing on the 3090, you ain't playing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these people get crazy. No, it's not about that. But at the end of the generation, the way the transition is always the same, right? So Borderlands, for instance, which is a really good example, it came at the end of the generation. It really showed how it kind of struggled to run on original PlayStations and Xboxes and stuff like that. And I played on the Pro, which was in 4K, but again, it still was only at 30 FPS, stuff like that. Now you play it on the PS5 and it's 60 frames, it's clearer, the resolution is different. Like everything is way more, it's a lot closer to the experience that I got on PC. So like that's why coming with Cyberpunk coming towards the end of the generation, I knew being able to experience it as someone who has gamed, you know what I'm saying, for over 30 plus years now and been into both console and PC. And then also being into the industry, I understood seeing the volumetric smoke that was in some of these places and the amount of verticality and what was being generated on screen. I already knew that the only place I was going to play this until it was officially ready for PS5 was on PC because I already knew whatever they were promising to be able to bring that game to the original consoles, it was going to struggle. Like the best version of that game will always struggle. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like as far as that goes, so that's why I was like, my experience on PC was my experience on PC was damn near flawless. I had two glitches. That was it. One required a 3 second load, literally, and the other one required like a 30 second reload, and that was it. I ran into more glitches and game breaking bugs playing Valhalla on PS5 that like by 15 times compared to my first playthrough on Cyberpunk. So like I said, I
So
only whenever I speak about it, I only speak for myself, but it was amazing. And the only thing that obviously everybody experienced was the police was broken, which honestly, like as far as
yeah,
like them chasing you, but I also didn't really care. Like I don't know, they would like it like didn't hinder my experience. Like now that they're active, they're just annoying. Like
Same.
but yeah, I love it.
Oh
So I
man.
think if everybody can experience
No,
it full
again,
on,
the
I think
game
it'd be great.
the game has something going for it. Like I said, I was having fun with what I was playing, but the crash just really turned me off. And by the way, I'm willing to give it another chance when they release that PlayStation 5 version, the
Yeah,
proper
that's what
one.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a chance again because I actually had fun with what I played. It's just that it didn't last long.
I didn't have many issues with it, technically, but I just quit because it felt really bloated at some point. There was just too much to do and didn't really have fun, so I had to put it down.
No, see, I completely get that. Like, I was telling somebody when the other day, someone had played and they said that how you start didn't really make a difference. And I beg to differ because currently, I've played two different starts, or three actually. But the one that I actually went back and made a fourth start on the original way that I started to to go 100% on the game because I've truly enjoyed that path the most. And it actually makes a significant difference in the responses and stuff that you would say
Yeah,
and
but
some of the
that's
outcomes.
it, right? Huh? That's the only thing that really is different aside from the prologue mission, is that you have
Oh
some
yeah, the
unique
prologue is
dialogue
the
options.
biggest difference. But
Uh,
like when I'm playing through like the corporate person never says anything, I would say. Like so it like the connectivity to you and the character it can be like that. Like if I would have played the corporate character first, I wouldn't have enjoyed the game half as much as I did. Like it made that big of a difference for me in my playthrough.
Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I
I'll
started
find
out
out.
with.
Yeah, I'll find out next year. Totally.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
you know,
buy
they
it
gotta
next
bring
year.
back the
corporate.
2020.
When they finish
Yeah.
all those hot fixes, or what they've got planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, when they reveal the next gen version, and of course, I'm jumping back to Witcher 3 definitely when the next gen version is out. As long as it's not an abomination like GTA
Oh yeah. I don't
trilogy.
think anything can be that bad.
I bet
I
you're
hope
No,
wrong
not, man.
about
Like
that.
Witcher 3 has such a good legacy, man. I hope they don't ruin that shit.
Can we move on
No,
now?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
let's
got
do it.
please.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna talk. Well, what I've been playing is Borderlands 3, and I've been taking care of my little kitten. She is a disaster and a princess at the same time. But trust me, also a disaster. My team knows why. Other than that, Borderlands. I have been hard on Borderlands. I am loving Borderlands. Addicted to Borderlands all over again. I blame Innate for that. I blame K for that. I blame Doctor what's called Innate brother for that. Well, not Innate brother, K brother. I meant. But
Well, don't blame me because I
is
don't play it.
this game is amazing, but the story, they can go screw themselves. That's not it. The way they did Maya so dirty, uh, um, I was genuinely mad about that. But other than that, yeah, I I love what we're doing. I love everything, and yeah, I love Borderlands, and I can't wait for Tiny Tina real quote unquote debut in a way. But yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna actually start with. Let's start with Innate. NFT, what the heck is that? A blockchain block, what is that? The reason why. Okay, so here's the thing. Before you say anything, I don't care about it, but the reason I need to care about it because the industry is clearly moving toward it. Go ahead, Innate.
Yeah, so I mean, like as far as like details outside of gaming, I mean, I'll let Jody explain that because she looked into it more than me. But the simplest way that I was saying that I found out what it was basically think of it as a way that the way that Fortnite uses V-Bucks. So V-Bucks are technically the NFT for Fortnite, right? They are a non-fungible token or whatever. So basically, they gain real-world monetary currency from selling you this in-game thing that they own, which is the V-Bucks. Now,
So
obviously, you can
basically,
spend that in
loot
game.
boxes in a sense, or microtransactions in
Well,
a
not
sense.
not not loot boxes because you buy whatever you want with it. You know, you buy skins or whatever. But the non-fungible token is the V-Bucks itself. So they sell you this entity that they own, this thing that is only, you know, usable within the game. So in their case, their non-fungible token is V-Bucks. So when speaking about like EA and a lot of them do get looking into it, a lot of them were looking into a form of like a V-Bucks for themselves for certain games, um, where in which they would have a currency like that as well, so that they could basically sell you
I,
that and earn the currency.
I'm not sure the V-Buck itself would be qualify it as an NFT. I think the idea is that you can buy something like a unique sword, for example, and that sword would be the NFT. It would be a unique item that only you own, and you could potentially buy that with like let's say the V-Buck, which you buy with real currency, so dollars, euros, whatever. Uh, and games that would use blockchain technology would basically have their own cryptocurrency, which you could basically buy and has its own market, and the idea is that you can actually basically earn money in the game because you can sell it rather than selling it outside of the game, like with World of Warcraft, for example, where there was this market that Blizzard cracked down on, where you could sell items in game, or basically sell accounts with that item, and they sort of want to regulate that within the game, and the blockchains are basically they create this unique identifier. That's that item that's tied to your account. There's a lot of criticism on it, partially also because crypto mining, blockchain technology uses a lot of energy, and since we here are in a climate crisis and we're trying to stop the heating of the earth, people are criticizing that we're using this technology now also for games. It is potentially a next step in monetizing gaming. I also don't see it as a positive development, because it definitely will create a certain market within these games where they basically want to create their own cryptocurrencies and have you buy that, and probably will run into a lot of legal issues. At least I know in the Netherlands they can't just do that, because technically they would qualify as gambling, because you don't necessarily know what you're going to get
Yeah, a
in
lot of
game.
games on mobile are blocked because microtransactions and loot boxes. Yeah.
But you mentioned there's a chance that this might be the next loot box. It's the next way they're trying to monetize gaming. So I don't see this as a positive development. Definitely see this as a threat to
I completely
to
agree.
us as gamers or
Yeah.
consumers.
Okay,
Oh.
so go ahead, Jody. You want to say anything?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to reiterate. Reiterate. I can't even speak today. Reiterate what Blue said. That NFT uses blockchain technology, which is a sort of Ethereum cryptocurrency. So I understand what innate meant conceptually. So conceptually, sort of in-game currencies like that, but the difference is that an NFT it's blockchain technology that requires immense computations to generate these unique blocks of code, if you will, and then that is what is unique, and it's difficult or not completely impossible to replicate, but it's exceedingly difficult. So that's why they're referred to as non-fungible token, and that's the token part. So when it comes to gaming, what can happen, as Blue said, is that they can then attach these to in-game monetization, and as Blue said, it's problematic because it's seen as gambling. It's already seen as gambling in some currencies, and there's in some countries, and there's open kind of cases going through various governments. I know that it was discussed in the UK government, and they had EA talking about it, and EA were claiming that the FIFA Ultimate Packs are not gambling. It's just fun surprises or something they called it. I can't remember.
What? It's not gambling? What?
Yeah,
It's just a fun surprise.
something like it's something about it's like fun surprise. Some stupid said. It was
I
it,
couldn't believe they actually said that too. I was like, what?
it
So
was
can
really
we
funny.
count?
So
Can we
the
count how many studios are now in favor of it? You have Ubisoft, you have EA, and you have Square Enix.
well, this is nothing new. So I can speak a little bit about Square Enix. Square Enix first sort of announced they were kind of getting in with blockchain technology uh, as early as March last year. From what I found, they were part of a group of companies that invested $2.01 million in it's called Animoca Brands. So yeah, so a number of companies, including Square Enix, invested into that. And what Square Enix has done, they have actually already begun using blockchain and NFT in concept. They did a proof of concept called a game called She Sansei Million Alpha, and this was in this kind of card game. It's a mobile game. They were selling NFT digital cards. So the NFT part, the non fungible token, that's this unique token that you can that's a and we can discuss like the because I when I looked at the immense it's amount of electricity that is needed to generate these is absolutely wild. I couldn't believe it when I read it. It's like a small country, the energy of a small country to generate these things. It is actually quite bad. I thought people were exaggerating. They're really not. So you can attach different items such as an image or audio file to this and that. It doesn't mean you necessarily own the intellectual property like you would own a song. So a song is kind of, unless it's printed off physically, a song's kind of intangible, right? So but people, someone owns it, so you can't just play whatever you want on your YouTube channel, whatever song, or on Twitch or whatever, because someone's gonna claim copyright for you. Well, you can't monetize that doesn't belong to you. So NFT isn't exactly that. So if you're wondering like how can someone sell an old video, an old meme, Charlie bit me from years ago, when that's everyone can, like, how do you own it? Because you're not you kind of, you own like a token that's like a link to kind of a unique, which I use in quotation marks, a unique version of that. So you're just buying like a receipt kind of. Anyway, so Square Enix made this game called She Sang Say Million Alpha back in, I think this is they released it in October this year, and all of their the cards, the Million Press set and Million Press have sold out. And so what they said is that the proof of concept phase is over, and they will transition to full. It sounds quite. It's a full commercialization phase. So that's what they're doing now, and they believe games are expanding from centralized to decentralized formats, and it expects to benefit from NFT and token economies as NFT and token economies take hold.
I'll
So
be honest, this
So
all sounds like a
basically,
really, really bad idea.
so
it sounds
basically,
kind of like,
okay. I'm not
It
gonna
is.
lie. I'm genuinely, absolutely not gonna lie. I'm putting myself on blast. Um, can you guys please simplify it for me to understand? Cause all of this is, again, this is why I don't fuck with this shit, but it's important. So now, in plain English, if I understood it correctly, it's basically the items you buy in store on in an a game as a live service game. You can't sell it anymore, right?
as far as I can understand, they can be sold.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, now without blockchain, you don't generally have the option to actually sell it with real money, right? You have these basically black markets where you can like sell a rare item, and you're basically selling your an account with that item on it. But that's basically something that the developer publisher doesn't control, and they usually crack down on it because they will ban you if they figure out you're doing that. This way, you can create an internal economy where they basically use cryptocurrency that they create, which you can then buy, and like V-Bucks, you can buy it with real money, and then you can use it to buy NFTs, and they're generated with this blockchain technology, and they're basically
The blockchain is the lock. I think that's where he's
yeah.
confused. So the blockchain is basically the encryption that basically protects it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it creates indeed.
Yeah.
This is where it's stored, right?
So
Similar
is it a doom and gloom,
principles, cryptocurrency.
or can it be
Doom,
prevented?
They supposedly can't be altered or forged. It's
well,
it's
the owner's question
extremely difficult
is
because
this doom and gloom or can it be prevented? Well, there are saying that this might be the future of gaming, but we've also seen examples. I don't know which one company it was, but where people were protesting against the use of blockchain technology and actually didn't go ahead with it. So I think this isn't a matter of if you let your voice be heard, we might be able to stop it. And of course, they might run into
Do you see
legislation.
Do you see? Okay, so this is I'm talking about. We all know when USA does something, the world listen and pay attention. Do you think if what's called what's his name if the USA government pay attention to this, then it could be prevented?
I mean, it's not just the U.S. government or in the U.S. is happening. I mean, there are Dutch gaming companies who are using this technology already, but
yeah.
I don't think we have to look at the U.S. for that. I mean, we've also seen that in a lot of European countries they were looking at loot boxes more carefully. So I think this is more of a it needs to get a wake up call. I mean, loot boxes got a wake up call when EA fucked up with Battlefront 2, when the Star Wars license. So it probably has to happen with something very very prolific, like a very well-known IP outside of gaming, to put this at the forefront of giving enough attention. But the thing is, I think there were probably already awoken because of the loot boxes, and also because this is essentially the same territory as cryptocurrency, and they're already looking at that, to see how they can regulate that. So I don't think it will be as easy for it to take off as these gaming companies think it will. I think there will at some point some legislation will be changed that will put a stop to the most egregious cases.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree. I think there's going to be some governmental roadblocks in various
Yeah.
countries since, as you said, like since the Battlefront 2 debacle. That was a few years ago now. There's been a number of governments looking into loot boxes as it is. So if you do something like attach a cryptocurrency and blockchain technology onto something that's already quite insidious, then then it becomes almost sinister. Where if it was attached to something like FIFA Ultimate Team, which is, that FIFA is rated PEGI 3, believe it or not, it's rated PEGI 3 in Europe. So children can play. It's a game that's deemed safe for children, but it has this, what is essentially gambling, or uses the psychological techniques of gambling within this FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Something I'd
In
like to.
UK alone, there is a dude that spent more than 2,000, 3,000 quid on
Yeah.
what's called on FIFA every month.
Wow.
He became he became addicted to the point he lost his home. He like it not
Oh.
so it messed up.
Jesus Christ.
The
It
thing, the
didn't.
thing that's even more wild about FIFA Ultimate Team is that when the next FIFA game releases, it's all reset. You can't transfer your FIFA Ultimate Team from FIFA 2021 to 2022. You lose it all, and you have to start again from scratch.
It's crazy. I hope for the first time I dislike what I'm about to say, but I hope the USA look into it and block it.
So actually, I was gonna say about that. The person who actually may get ahead of it first is actually probably the European Trade Commission because they've been super active in combating all the loot boxes and gambling and stuff, like actually making active rules and regulations against it. So I actually think they may make the first move, and um, I think at least the American Trade Commission may just copy whatever they do because they've actually been kind of working closer together lately. And Europe has been way more on top of a lot of this digital
Yeah,
currency and everything else that's going on. The one thing I will say about blockchain technology, as someone who plays on PC, there so if someone actually understands how that works, the other danger about it that I'm gonna tell you right now, I cannot stand because you already run into issues where companies are doing this. So the way that an actual blockchain works, a lot of the times is it's embedded in a bunch of different places and could potentially utilize your hardware in order to help create these things. Um, there's actually, it's funny you mentioned that blockchains came up because the audiobook that I was explaining to some of you about, that was one of my favorites. The way that game, when I was explaining to you guys, because I was explaining to you guys how they transported to another world and it's digital,
isekai.
but it's just as real. Yeah, basically it's an isekai, but it exists here. Your consciousness goes to the other world. But the way that it works is that gaming company was so popular that they were on pretty much every phone on the planet, every computer, every satellite, basically anything that was an electronic that could install any form of it was utilized to help keep this server running in the background. And there's already a lot of issues with DRM and other stuff that, like, when you run a game, they're constantly analyzing or using extra processing power and doing things basically the game is not supposed to be doing. So blockchains could potentially run into that as well. And it just, that's why I said, like, when she said it was sinister and all this stuff, like, it is just not a good look because these companies are just looking to pull not only the money out of you in that fashion, but also utilizing your personal hardware or electricity in ways that they should not be. And it's just, it's setting a really dangerous precedent. So yeah, I think a lot of these guys definitely need to get on top of it.
Okay, thank you guys for your input. I kinda get the beginning phase, I think. I'm blonde, without being blonde. I'm pretty sure
Oh
we
yeah, yeah.
understand the joke.
Oh, I got a
Uh,
real world version of it for you though, real quick. This will probably help. So basically, think of it. So in real world, right? Let's say I had King Griffey Jr. You don't even have to know who that is, but he's a really great baseball player, right? So in real life, I have his rookie card, right?
hmm
So in real life, that is finite, right? There's 10 of them, let's say. It's
hmm
a signed King Griffey Jr. rookie card. You cannot recreate it. You can't, you could try to forge it, you could try to recreate it, but everybody knows the original 10, right? There's
hmm
only 10. So let's say that you had an NFT that was like that. Um, Basically it would be not, you couldn't duplicate it. So the reason the King Griffey Jr. card is worth what it's worth is because of when it's from and the fact that it's limited. You see what I'm saying?
hmm
So in real life, that's why cards gain that type of type of thing. Like if you wanted, same thing with Pokemon. If you wanted, holographic Pikachu first edition, you know what I mean? Like there's only so many of them. So
hmm
basically think about it like that, but in digital form. So currently it doesn't matter because anybody who wanted the skin, let's say Naruto's skin is available on Fortnite right now, anyone could buy it. It's not an NFT.
Yeah.
It's not locked to anything, right? But if let's say they sold 10 of them and those were the only 10 in the market and then they were locked to a blockchain becoming basically locked to these NFTs and they all were protected by these blockchains, then only those 10 people would ever have them. And if they made them tradable, then those people would be able to basically sell that NFT to someone else and they'd be able to use it in that case. That's where it's dangerous because then it gives them the ability to basically make digital trading cards almost. And then like basically say, well, this is guaranteed because you can't duplicate it. Now, of course, obviously, eventually, like anything becomes duplicatable and all this other craziness. You can get crazy. Someone's gonna figure it out. But that's the essential danger in it is them just basically, like they said, trying to increase monetization, which
Gotcha.
is always dangerous.
Thank you for
Yep.
your patience and explaining it again.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's dangerous, and I hope not companies, people jump on it and destroy it before it become a real thing. Like, why can't the video game industry just focus on making games?
Exactly. Making good games would be the right thing to do.
Because they want to make money.
Why are they always on this fuck shit? It's actually disappointing because we are the consumers, and instead of like, look at the Guardian of the Galaxy. This is a situation that you created. I'm talking about Square. You fucked up Avengers. It can be a fantastic game, it can be a bad game. I never played it. I played the beta and I was not impressed. So sue me, I guess.
Can I say something about that game when you're done?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I haven't played Guardians of the Galaxy, but there has been very good word of mouth about the quality of the game, and the reviews were largely positive. The problem is that a lot of people, they did associate it with the Avengers, and a lot of people assumed it was going to be another kind of live service type of game.
No,
And-
it's not
and
they. 1 second. It's not
not
they
like that.
assumed. There was a rumor that I actually believe they wanted Guardian of the Galaxy to be a la Avengers, but
Well,
then
I can believe that, but they must have changed their minds, like right in
they
pre.
absolutely changed their mind. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so basically the negative knock-on effect from the Avengers, which Square lost significant money on that, by the way, has meant that honestly the launch of Guardians of the Galaxy, like the data we have so far, it's like it's launched pretty soft, to be honest with you. It's not going to be a smash hit. Maybe some word of mouth will make it pick up a bit, but at the moment it is a little bit soft. The launch is a little bit soft.
Yeah.
So then, what I want to say is, they created this situation. What I mean by that is, look at how Marvel did with their movies. Look at how PlayStation did with Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Like, you
Yeah.
can make games. People want to buy your games. But when you on some fuck shit, you create your own downfall. A game like the Guardian, a game like the Guardian of the Galaxy should have never had this much doubt. I truly believe if this game had a demo, it would have sold 5 times more. I truly believe that. A lot of
Maybe
people.
maybe
Go ahead.
they could make a demo, but the problem is if they didn't do it in advance. I mean, it takes time to make a demo. So maybe one could come out, but then they also might deem it not worth with the money and resources. It wouldn't be worth their while to make a demo. I don't know, honestly.
it's again. I am on the belief of demo would make sales better, and it makes
Well,
them work.
like you said, the trials, the PlayStation trials, is along that right path. So without needing to actually make a demo, it would just give you that initial hit. Because honestly, that's
Agreed.
about all I've played so far.
Man, it doesn't.
Of even though I'm game sharing it,
Trials is
like
not in Europe
yeah.
right now. Trials
Does that?
is not in Europe. I've
Well,
been
no,
to
no, no.
play.
I'm
Uh,
just saying in the future though,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
that's why they're doing it because for me that initial hit is what I'm looking for because I really need to see because personally we've all been in this community where we've seen a game go crazy and a certain subset of community, a lot of people honestly I'm gonna tell you who have gone crazy about it are basically just ape shit about comic books and
Mm-hmm.
Marvel and stuff like that. So I can't fully trust them because I already see them as looking at this game, through rose colored glasses. So I need to see it from someone else's perspective that isn't particularly on that. You know what I mean? That can tell me where the game actually sits if you're not this like giant Guardians of the Galaxy fan.
I mean,
Like, where does it sit then? You
I,
know?
I,
Mm-hmm.
I read a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics back in the day, and I saw a little bit of this, and I think the characters are pretty a lot more faithful to the comics than the movies.
Mhm.
But for me, I watched the gameplay. The gameplay for me looked kind of weak. I mean, it did.
That's what had me hesitate though. Like what you just said. I watched somebody fight. I've watched several streams in fact. And I
Uh,
was like, I don't get what is so amazing about this game because I was like at least like you said
Okay.
the commentary and stuff like that looks great,
oh yeah, it's
but
really
Here is
good. The voice acting is really
here is
good.
yeah.
what this game is. This game is literally Death Stranding 2.0. What I mean by that is Death Stranding. When you watch the gameplay, you're bored if you have not played the game and understand what's going on. But when you play the gameplay loop for Death Stranding is so addictive. It's so fun. It's so creative. You get it, but you're not gonna
Well,
get it from
I was gonna say
simply watching it.
I'm not gonna give it all that credit because I love Death Stranding.
uh,
So
No, no,
to,
I'm talking about from the outside looking in.
yeah,
I played it. I think it's a
to be
great
fair,
game.
I love Death
the
Stranding.
gameplay initially, the gameplay, I agree wasn't that fun. But like I said, it gets better as you keep on playing because you unlock more abilities and more support abilities from your fellow guardians. So and more variety in enemies. So it does start off a bit weak, but it gets better, and especially the story and the banter of the characters really pulls you along. So I wouldn't say I mean I haven't finished it yet, so I can't tell you how I will feel when I finish it, but I wouldn't
yeah.
say it has the same level of polish as, let's just say, Miles Morales. You definitely can
Mhm.
see that this probably didn't have that budget, but you can see there was a lot of love and care put into it. So I
Mm,
will agree with that with people that yeah. Look, I'm not going to say it. There are some people who go crazy. It's better than Spider-Man. It's not better than Spider-Man, but it is definitely a very good comic book game
Now
See
and a good game
that part I
overall.
agree with.
the people that are saying better than Spider-Man are cloud haters. Like I didn't play it, and even I can see that that's not absolutely the case
I wouldn't worry.
whatsoever.
I wouldn't worry about clout and all that, Omar, because I think they're rated about that. They're rated about the same, to be honest with you. Critical reception, if you look on that Metacritic and stuff.
I
Oh
think this
yeah,
is
I ain't
mostly
looked at Metacritic in
fanboys
my
who.
life, so
The only thing about that game that is meh is the fighting, but everything else is great about that game.
Well, that's
that
what
All
I'm
of
that
saying. If the
and I
gameplay isn't there, then what? Then that's what holds the game together. That's what to me. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe you unlock more abilities and everything, but the gameplay look. You only can control Star Lord. You can give commands to the other. God, for when I first heard about that, I'm like, well, okay, I'm out. If you can't control the other ones, I'm out. That I was. immediately disinterested. Like that you can't control, you can't switch between characters,
it
and like
almost feels cheap,
start off pea shooters and all from what I watched, the enemies looked really bullet spongy, and it's like, oh, you had this fun banter and these little kind of side what you call it, mini games or things like that, and then there's stuff in the ship, but then the actual combat looked boring. The enemies designs to me looked boring.
Well, like I said, in the beginning, that's definitely true because you basically can only just shoot and
Right.
use your allies, command them to use their abilities. But once you get more abilities, it doesn't just gives you more abilities, but it also changes the flow of the combat because then you can use things like stun them and juggle them and things like that, and that changes the combat to the flows is more fun that way. So it's not just new abilities, but it does fundamentally change it. But I would agree that they should have found a way to do that right from the beginning, because beginning it's a bit boring because you're so limited in your attack options.
To be
You just have
fair,
to shoot
every
at the end.
single game almost have a boring beginning because you need to get your
That's not necessarily true because there are plenty of games where the combat is solid from the beginning, and you just build upon that and add more elements to it, make them more complicated. But also the challenge is more. It's there. The enemies get more powerful. You need to use your new abilities, etc. And here it's sort of like the beginning is really, you know, bare bones in terms of combat, and it gets more fun once you get these new abilities and are able to string combos together, etc.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the issue with this game was of the marketing as well, was didn't kind of give people a lot of they didn't have a lot of faith because of the Avengers situation, and the marketing maybe didn't really do the game that justice. I don't know how everyone else feels, but I think the marketing was they could have done a little bit better, you know.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
The marketing just made the game seem like it was just it's just kind of cheesy one-liners in the game, and they didn't showcase the game. I don't remember seeing
I
any
definitely agree to that.
gameplay, and it seemed kind of one-dimensional. And then lo and behold, once the previews came out and then the reviews came out, there was more depth to the character interaction,
Exactly.
decisions that you can make and interact with the characters, and I believe you can affect some story elements as well, but none of that was in the marketing.
Yeah,
No,
that's a
actually,
great
they said
point.
that during the gameplay that your choices are going to make affect the
See,
gameplay, the
they
story.
didn't do a good job on that because like the from what it just looked so cheesy from the marketing to me, and I was just like, that is not interesting. The only reason I picked it up was I saw the people I trust, my friends and stuff, who on Twitter who were saying that it was a good game. So I trust their judgment. I
Persona,
yeah, for
Persona, body, tech humor.
exactly, and so
Well,
it's like
okay,
they did a good.
they also like Avengers, so trust
Yeah, that's
them
true. That's
that
true.
much.
That
But the
is
way they
very true.
described it, though, the way they
I don't.
described it and the gameplay that they showed was a
Yeah.
Avengers wasn't
lot more
bad. I didn't think it
interesting
was
to me
bad.
Yeah, it's
than
not
the
even
actual
about everything
advertising.
bad. It's like it's the difference in like I was explaining to people. I was like, a game could just be an 8, bruh. Like an 8 is perfectly cool. Like
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
just be a solid 8. Like, but
Well,
everybody's like,
Oh,
when they like it,
oh,
they got to be like, oh, it's
yeah.
game of the year, game of the year,
Right,
let's
exactly.
go. And I'm like, everything is not game of the year, let's go. Like,
It's
and it
okay.
doesn't have to be.
No,
I
Like,
truly believe that basically why they're doing it because they want to discredit Returnal and what's called Ratchet.
Why are
Cause
you
and
bringing up
Kena.
Eternal?
Because okay, so
What's that got to do
because
with what we're talking about?
because
well, not those people, not Bari and them.
it
He's
is
saying, but like
definitely
something. There's other people that don't want those games
Xbox
to.
fanboys basically.
Yeah,
Let's just
not
say
they,
that.
not Xbox fanboys, PlayStation as well. They just don't want Returnal. They don't see Returnal as deserving as the game of the year. That's why when
I didn't even play
Talking about
Returnal, and I think it would
the
be.
I mean, neither. So
right?
it's not
I
my go-to.
I
Yeah.
think we're talking about the Keighley Awards, so I think Returnal has a good chance. There's a number of games that I think have a good chance of getting into the Game of the Year category. Returnal, I would say probably would be, but I don't. I think like people need to, including you, Omar, you need to take your fanboy goggles off when it comes to these games and things.
yeah, exactly.
Like if we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, why are you bringing up Returnal and Ratchet and Clank? I don't understand.
Okay,
Oh,
But
he's
because
talking about in the Game of
okay.
the
Hey,
Year
here. Oh,
conversation, though.
wait. Hold on, Jody.
yes,
I have been on Twitter for a long time, and
yeah.
not a long time, and I know the people that talking about that. I know how they act. I know how, I've seen it. Every single time. People put out a tweet, Returnal Gotti. They discredit it. Every single time when people put out tweet for Returnal or Ratchet and Clank or Kena, they're like, nah, man.
Well,
Guardian Galaxy is my go-to. I'm like,
well, I'd forget
okay.
about Kano. I don't think that's got a chance of Game of the Year.
So,
But I know what you're saying. There is a lot of fraudulence going on. There are some fanboys. There's some people now. Say I will say this. I'm probably going to do a more in-depth tweet thread about this. But there are people saying that Forza Horizon 5 should be nominated for Game of the Year, even though that's a racing game, and racing games are never. They're in their own they're in a different. They're in the racing and sports category. They're never. And I'm like, okay, well, they're saying, well, it's the highest. It's got the highest Metacritic of a new game. And I'm like, okay, if you look at the history of the Game Awards, it's never the highest rated games that are nominated for Game of the Year. There's games that are lower rated that are in there. Like, for example, what year was it? Last year or the year before when Control was in there?
Death Stranding
Yeah.
was nominated, and Death Stranding wasn't the
Death
highest Metacritic score.
Death Stranding was rated. That was fraudulent.
Like
By
83
the way.
or something.
In my opinion, that was fraudulent because you had Death Strand. I think it was 2019, and then you had something like Fire Emblem Three Hour Houses, which had like they had an 89. They had an 89 Metacritic, and that didn't get nominated for Game of the Year. So it's not the highest rated games that are nominated for Game of the Year, and I think something like a race. It is just my opinion. Something like a racing game that has no characters, no plot, no story, no side quests, no bosses, no level design. You know, I think that would be kind of fraudulent for that to be nominated for Game of the Year. But I mean, that's just my.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Nate, but didn't Gran Turismo ever get nominated or won Game of the Year?
Not in the Jeff Keighley sense, because
Not in the Keyless.
yeah, not in that, but the only one that has come out since that awards has really been going is Sport, Gran Turismo Sport, and yeah, that wouldn't have never got nominated. That went through its struggles.
No.
But to your end, like, I actually love racing games a shit ton, and have played them longer than half these people that are talking about Forza have been alive. And I don't think it should be nominated for Game of the Year. Not even close. And I love it. I'm playing it.
I'm not saying it's not a
right
good
now.
game. By all accounts,
No. I'm
like
saying
it's an
they
excellent
don't
game.
understand the other parameters that are being measured
Exactly.
with this game. Also, in comparison to its predecessor, it still, although it does a lot to improve on the franchise, it also doesn't really do anything new either. So I wouldn't nominate it only just for that. Like, it's really just Forza
Did they
Horizon
play it safe then?
4.5.
Well, that's the thing. The issue you come up against is that it's with a sport. Why I think sports and racing games are in a separate category and not nominated for the Game of the Year. A Game of the Year at the Keighley's is to do with the licensing. The license, all the cars in there are licensed cars. They're not cars that was it Playground Games that develops it? They didn't design any of the cards. They're all licensed, and the licenses expire after a few years, and they get delisted on digital stores. So I think there's
That's a good
there's
point.
maybe an issue that you come across when with sports and racing games, when all of the everything in there is licensed. But I mean, I get, and I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they are in a separate category. And there's never any sports or racing games that are nominated for the game of the year, the big one at the Keelys.
I think they could be. I just don't think certain people want Forza to be something well beyond what it is, and it's just not. Like I said, I'm one of the biggest fans of it, period. I got the old premium edition, $100 edition of 5. I got the $100 edition of 4, and I played 3. Like, I'm as big as it gets when it comes to being a fan of this stuff,
They
and
went.
I just don't think it deserves to be in the conversation. It just doesn't.
They
But it
went
has
with
racing
the.
games.
They went from Flight Sim as Game of the Year to now Forza.
And again, that's another game that I've played for over a decade. Flight Simulator. Before most of these people ain't touched a flight simulator in their life. You know what I mean? Like, I've played Flight Simulator for over a decade, and I think this is one of the best ones they've ever done. It's amazing. But again, just realistic recreation in that sense, and bringing the game, basically updating the game to current standards. And I think some of the tech is really cool, but it's in a sense of standing up against some of these other games. No way.
Yes,
Not,
when it comes to the game awards, it's the Keelys, the way it's organized, it's not like, oh, it's a set in stone, this should be nominated, that should be not. It's a completely discretionary as how they have made the rules.
oh
So,
yeah, I mean,
Here,
the panel members vote on it.
so
They're the
yeah.
ones that set it up. So they play these games and set it up. So these people are going to bring in the game of games, like games that truly stand for what they believe fits all these categories, that really stand on top of everything. And I mean, if we've all played, like, obviously all of us don't have all the time in the world, so most of us in here haven't gotten to play all of the nominations, most likely.
No.
Um, but when you've played at least a couple of them, you can see and feel and understand the difference in like that oh shit game where it's like, damn, like this
Yeah.
is it. You know what I mean? Versus
Yeah.
like, damn, this is a really good game. I'm glad I played it. like there's just levels to it, and some people want certain games to be that level and they're not, and I'm like, I hate to tell you that it's just not going to happen.
I think it's
yeah. Go ahead, Dodie.
no, I was just gonna say, I think there's maybe some kind of fanboy stuff going on. But I mean, if you just look at it from just historically what they've done at the Game Awards, I'm just saying that's the racing games, and that's it. Seem to be always in a separate category, and they never nominate the highest rated games of the year, and it's hardly ever the highest rated game of the year that wins. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, and you're like, okay, but that game, you're like, well, this other game is the highest rated game. It doesn't mean the highest rated game wins. It doesn't work like that. But and there's also recency bias with it, where with games that have released more recently are more in the conversation. Then so more people are talking about Guardians of the Galaxy right now than we're talking about as you said, Returnal, that came out at the beginning of the year.
Recency bias is huge. I actually hate it. I wish it wasn't such a big factor, but I'll see it and I'm like, I'll see certain people I know loved a certain game early in the year, and like now, because the big drop at the end of the year is happening and they play like these one or two other games that they're really loving, like I still remember very well how they felt about that other game, and I'm like, I feel like you don't like either of these games more than that, but currently we're so far from the beginning of the year that like it's almost become a non-factor, because like a lot of people forget how long the beginning of the year is. Like, do you remember anything you did in January? Like, that wasn't like, unless you went to like Disney World, like obviously you remember that.
Well,
But
no one was going to Disney World in January, that's for sure.
yeah, like oh yeah, definitely not. But Yeah, like daily. Like you remember like what day of the week did you go to the grocery store in January? Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff starts to become very vague. But I could tell you yesterday I went to the grocery store. I could tell you exactly what I bought.
Right.
You know? So and it was very delicious because I ate it last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
That's
bet you did.
recency
Like
bias.
10:30, 11 o'clock, when you usually eat. I'm sure you did.
Yes, it was about 10:30.
I know it was. I know.
Yeah, so, for example, nobody's. I don't hear that people talking about Resident Evil Village really. No,
I was
that,
just about to say that.
that was at the beginning of the year, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That
A lot of
game,
people have
I
said
never
that.
played it, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, I don't comment on it because I started it,
Mm.
but I was like, man, this I
You
personally
like
don't
it?
like the style and how the way they did it because I'm a fan of the third
Old
person over
school.
the shoulder kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
RE2 remakes,
same.
RE3 stuff like that. So I started it and I still have it on my computer and I still
You haven't
honestly
played
I'll
it
probably delete it before I even finish it. Like I just don't
yet.
even care. But I believe it's good. You know, I've seen people who are super
Yeah.
yeah, super people I super trust that I know don't they will not cap for anything. Like unless they truly have played it and finished it and they've talked about it in a way that I can tell you factually they believe what they are saying and they believe it deserves that shot, then I personally think it definitely from what I've heard from these
Mhm.
people that really have thoroughly, talked about this game that it deserves a chance in there if there's enough room.
The
um, and I
Yeah,
haven't even
I think
played
it
it.
the
does. I mean,
fact
the
they
story was
feel
good on
they
it.
need the
Oh, see, there
fact
you
they
go.
feel they need to cap for something that
The
alone.
story ended up being real good on that game. I can't lie.
No doubt.
Which
That
game?
The
baby.
only thing that upset me though is that it wasn't as scary and shit that I liked them to be and shit, which I
That baby
which I
though?
hated.
Come on, bro. That baby.
Yeah, that was like that was the only part, but after that I was like, someone bring
Oh,
the baby back.
Here's
Which
the
game
thing.
are you talking about?
Resident Evil
Oh,
8.
I never played it, so I can't comment on it.
I know Gombar don't play shit.
So you know because of the way the cutoff
He's
date
a secret Xbox.
works for the game of the year, that actually Cyberpunk would be eligible. Cyberpunk 2077 would be eligible now, and it had an 86, which would pull it in the amongst one of the highest rated games of the year. You
it has
realise?
an 86.
And I doubt that Cyberpunk is going to get nominated. The PC version
Of
has
Yeah,
86.
PC
if
version.
Cyberpunk get nominated, it's gonna be discredit the entire what's called
That's what I'm
even
saying.
because
So it's not.
even the PC version it
It's
shouldn't.
Yeah, nobody's gonna burn
86.
themselves to
Yeah,
death over.
Jeff ain't gonna
When
let
you
that
fuck
shit
here is
go.
the thing. Here is the thing. The game can be 10 out of 10, yeah? When you fuck your fan base over so badly, you shouldn't not only not you shouldn't get nominated, you should get destroyed for it.
That's what I mean. So there's some politics involved, because if just
Mhm.
objectively, if you're saying, right, we're going to use Metacritic, all the highest rated games are going to be, including ones that have a tied score, then Cyberpunk 2077 would be in one of those games. But
Mhm.
it's more than that. As you said, if that was nominated, yeah, that would. Oh my god.
Yeah, they ain't letting that. Like
Okay,
Exactly.
like Morgan said, they
okay.
ain't letting that
You
happen.
can see
I
what
just
happens.
wanna
That'd be
Jeff
that'd be a
about to
good
do
day
that
on
to his
Twitter.
show.
I can tell you that.
okay, I just wanna give Rate the Emperor the mic. I don't know how long you've been here, but go ahead.
Hooray.
What up? Yeah, I've been here since 6:20. Chilling, listening to you guys talk.
Go ahead, introduce yourself, what you've been playing, and what are your thoughts on the whole conversation.
Uh, well, I'm Wraith the Emperor. Call me Wraith. Emperor Wraith on Twitter. And I've been playing Call of Duty. I'm playing GTA and fucking Battlefield. And I'm pretty sure I'm playing another. Oh yeah, and I'm finishing off the PS4 version of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
you're
Yeah, so I'm
having
going.
and you're having fun?
Oh yeah. Oh no. You know what? My bad. I finished the PS4 one. I'm on the PS5 one. I got to get one more trophy, and I'll be done with that one as well.
So you're going double platinum?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so
Oh,
you really
okay. I
enjoying it?
see.
Yeah, it's a real man. That game's good as hell.
Putting you people on
It is,
blast.
ain't it?
He play games. You're awesome. You're really awesome. Shout out to you.
You bought the trifecta. You said Battlefield. You bought all the controversial games right now.
Oh hell yeah!
He's in for the oldest one.
GTA. He's like, I bought all that. I showed up at the
Oh,
store,
it's
just said
Yeah.
everything.
Some bad stuff
I
about.
was about to
Let's
cancel my
talk.
pre-order.
Damn right.
No,
I threw an envelope on the counter and got all three of them. I said, "Fuck it."
Let's talk. No, shall we talk about GTA?
Well, hold on. Before you go into that, was there anything that you wanted me to comment on specifically? Because I'm actually about to have to leave. My girlfriend is coming to the end of her 50-mile race.
Oh yeah, no.
And-
I only needed you for the whole NFT conversation, and you broke it
Okay.
down perfectly. Shout out to you for coming
Doesn't
in.
need you anymore, Nate.
He don't
Cool,
need you no
cool.
more. Oh, damn.
Ooh, okay. It sounds so harsh when Morgan says it. Like, jeez. Oh my god. All right, well, cool. I'm still gonna get some tea because Jody making me feel some type of way over here. Just I feel like it wouldn't be proper if I don't.
Just make sure. Also, make
That
sure
was
to
terrible.
make sure to get the handcuff. We really need to drag Morgana out here to play
Definitely.
Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm about to message the hell out of her because I'm sure it's
Yeah.
on sale right now, and we about to get
Oh,
it popping.
yeah.
So,
Let's do
but
it.
yeah,
I'm
so
down.
I'm gonna check the sales while I'm in the car because I'm about to drive over there. But it's fun.
Make sure you
Again,
post your dinner in a couple hours. I'm sure you're gonna be
hey, yo, I had ramen last night. Yo, it was amazing.
Ew.
Yeah, it's fire. But yeah, like not the store bought ramen, like real
Yeah,
Japanese
you went to a
ramen.
restaurant. Yeah, the real.
Yeah, restaurant. Yeah, where they eat the dakimasu and the whole thing, bro. Like I
Yeah,
was,
that should be
I was in there.
good.
Yeah, that's a real shit.
Yeah.
Evening DJ Reflex.
But yeah, man, again, Innate, the real Innate, y'all know what it is. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Y'all be great. I'll be listening in the car, so have fun.
Hey, Nate, you got a
Coming
PlayStation,
up.
innit?
Thank you for
Do
coming through.
do I have a PlayStation?
Yeah,
You mean like a PS4 Pro or what?
or
I mean,
whatever. Don't matter.
I got 2 PS4 Pros and 2 PS5s.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't want to know all that, you fucking baller. But I was gonna say, I wanted to add you and shit. So just DM me.
Oh, yeah,
your
yeah.
thing.
All right, bet. Yeah, I'll DM you.
Okay, for sure.
All right, bet.
Okay. Now.
care, Nate.
Oh. Innate
Oh.
leaves and Chris Wright join.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Join.
Introduce
Oh.
yourself.
Yo, I don't gotta introduce myself, but y'all over here talking about objectively and facts when it comes to game of the year, and objectively, Shin Megami Tensei 5 game of the year. Baby.
I was gonna say it.
That shit looks terrible.
Chris,
I mean, if you're a
That shit's
nerd,
gonna get game of the week.
Chris,
if you're a nerd,
yeah, it won't be nominated at all, even though it's one of the highest rated games of the year.
No. You might actually see it nominated as the RPG of the year because you've seen that happen.
In a game of the year.
Who said it should look like?
Shin Megami Tensei what?
Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Who said it looked like?
Me, sir. I said that shit look terrible.
You haven't even played it.
You
I don't gotta play it. I looked at that shit. I used to look at games in the back of the cases. I know what that shit's gonna be like. Trash.
Spoken like a true X-bot, bro.
Yeah.
Damn. God damn. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he's definitely the X-bot of the group.
You're
Oh,
definitely.
bro. All right, let's compare trophies and see.
Like,
who's the
remember those dudes that
Now you
fucking
don't want from
you know those dudes who are justifying that you can watch a game, have your own experience. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
like, dude, like, I said, yo, I watched Forza Horizon 5, so this my experience count as well. Like, did I play the game already? By watching
You gotta
it.
hold up a controller to YouTube. It's the same thing. The same.
I was challenging the logic that they were trying to make. I can watch PlayStation games and have a different experience. Well, you see, I watched Forza Horizon I can watch somebody drive a car outside. It's basically Forza Horizon as well. It's like the same experience, right?
Okay, let's talk about things. Let's talk
Wait,
about
getting all
something.
that smoke.
Omar, I'm gonna repeat what I said. I'm gonna repeat now that there's more people here. I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier. Will everybody please kindly take their fanboy goggles off and let's have a good conversation.
About
Get it? Okay.
Game of the
take the
Year.
fanboy shit off. Fucking.
No. I can't have conversation with people who talk about a game that they didn't play. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's why when I don't.
Damn, bro. No. It's all good.
Somebody pass him the
No.
tissue. I'm sorry,
Like
That shit
for
mad
me,
corny.
It's
for
all good.
me, Game of the Year is between Ratchet and Returnal and Kena. I would put Returnal over Kena.
Returnal is definitely a game of the year. Returnal is definitely a game of the year contender.
I haven't played Returnal, so I'll play Kena.
But
so I'll put Kena up there, bro.
Is the question what is our personal game of the year or what we think is going to win?
I don't. Okay, so for me,
I don't care about who wins. It never mattered to me whoever. Like
it doesn't matter, bro.
Majority of my game of the year, like at least for like the past like 5 or 6 years, majority of them never won. Some of them didn't even get nominated.
Yeah,
you know?
Same for me.
Final Fantasy 7
Same for me.
Stood no chance against Last of Us 2. I'm sorry.
Because there's politics involved with Heelys, that's why.
I like Chris's last.
So in terms of the politics, right? In terms of the reviews, in terms of the game, it was a way better game than The Last of Us 2.
Absolutely
That's
that's a cap.
Absolutely not.
That's why
the bullshit.
No, here is the thing.
Cyberpunk is eligible this year, but it won't get nominated, even if it's one of the highest rated games of the year. If you include from the cutoff, it won't get nominated for game of the year at the Key Leagues because politics.
It's not,
it is.
No, hold on.
Cyberpunk don't deserve it.
But that's what I'm saying. On paper it does, but obviously
not
nobody
because,
knows.
wait. Jacob.
But the Metacritic never mattered for game of the year.
Exactly what Chris, you just came in. I already said that earlier. I already said that the highest rated games are not the ones that get
because if that was the case, Red Dead 2 would have won against God of War.
Exactly.
You know?
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But Jody, do you truly believe that there is politics involved that's going to prevent the Cyberpunk from getting nominated?
Yes.
How is it? Hold on. How is it?
Cyberpunk will be nominated for the Game of the Year, even though it's eligible and it's one of the highest rated games of the year. If you go from the cutoff last year.
But it's highest rated, yet at the same time it got pulled.
For American audience, we don't mean that kind of politics.
I just want to say,
Cyberpunk. But Cyberpunk isn't one of the higher rated games.
It's 86. It's higher rated than Resident Evil.
Yeah, on PC, but on the console, this shit is like a 49 or 50.
Because they take the highest rating. For example, Psychonauts 2 got a 91, but that 91 was on Xbox One, which had the least.
Which was 10 reviews and stuff like that, but that never really mattered. Like because
everyone says Psychonauts 2, it's a 91, it's a 91. Yeah, for the Xbox One version that has 10 reviews, but it's like an 89 if you look at the one with the.
Because if they're going by that logic, then are they saying that Psychonauts 2 on the Xbox One is a better version than the Series X version because it's higher rated?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you're going literally by logic, then yes, it would have to be. But we know that because of the amount of reviews, it's skewed. So if we're going to do that, if we're going to have the allowance for a game like Psychonauts 2, then you have to make the allowance for Cyberpunk 2077 as well, which has 86 on the PC version.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's
which it didn't deserve, I might add.
Well,
I want to make this.
Go ahead.
I want to make this easy. I want to make this easy for you guys. Game Awards nowadays, and it's been like this for some years now. It always has been a popularity contest. If you look at the Game of the Year, actually, what Chris said, right? For the last 6 years, your personal Game of the Year didn't win anymore, right? because that's like the time.
There's only two games that were my game of the
Yeah, I mean
year.
Breath of the Wild won't get through. Obviously.
Breath of the Wild and Sekiro. They both won, and they were my game of the year that year.
So
that's
it's like
only
this.
two.
In the years they won, they were the highest rated games of the year.
For some years now.
Yeah, they were.
The games that are always winning game of the years are arguably the popular games. For example, you cannot tell me that Overwatch can really beat Uncharted 4. Nobody can fucking tell me Overwatch can beat Uncharted 4 in a fair fight about which is the better
game. It's two different games, though. The thing with Overwatch is
Overwatch was more popular than Uncharted.
Yeah, but Overwatch did something. I want to say
was more popular
for multiplayer, right? Because it was pretty much like a team. It was pretty much like Team Fortress, but even more in depth when it comes to like the team compositions. It just did a lot of different things that
year. My point was Overwatch was the more popular game, though.
So that's what we mean by
Uncharted. It was just the truth.
But I don't think that trend has continued, though.
That's what we mean by politics, because
that's why I say it's popularity contest. Because no matter what the game, for example, how good the game would be, it still will be based on its popularity. Yeah, for it to win.
How would you explain, for example, Sekiro winning? Because
come on, man! Sekiro was popular when it released.
Because if Sekiro,
but it's still let's face it.
No! Don't even call it niche, man. No! It's not niche.
Niche genre. It's definitely a niche genre.
No.
Absolutely, it's not a knock on the genre. It's niche.
You're talking to two Souls fans right now.
Well, Sekiro's not a Souls game. No. Sekiro's not a Souls game, though. Sekiro is not a Souls game, though.
Look, that's semantics.
Everyone's getting carried away.
No, that's not semantic. That's facts. Because
I'd like to answer the question.
The Souls games are action RPGs. Sekiro is an action adventure game. No, it's not semantics. A lot of people say it's not semantics. The Souls games are action RPGs.
Why are you arguing?
One person.
No, not arguing. I just want to say that people consider it.
I would like to answer Blue's. Was it Blue's question? Who asked why? Was it Blue or Akira said why did Sekiro win last year?
No. That's Blue. That's Blue. I didn't question Sekiro at all. Okay, Sekiro was popular when it was released.
Blue, I can answer.
But it's not the most popular game this year.
It was
the
highest rated game that year, and if it didn't win, and Death Stranding had won, that would have been so fraudulent. Sekiro was literally more than 10.
Hold on.
Death Stranding
have done more for the industry than Sekiro have ever done.
That's
the fact that you're literally out there calling Death Stranding fraudulent. No, that's not
Caraba, we just established, or we are trying to establish, that Game Awards are popularity contests. If Death Stranding wins, it will debunk my theory, because the Death Stranding was divisive as fuck. The score is not really close to Sekiro.
But it was popular.
Death Stranding had 10 out of 10s and a lot of low ratings as well. It was really divisive, whereas Sekiro, most of it was almost all positive ratings.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
but
that's what I was saying. And dude, you cannot.
But that's not popular. That's just ratings. That doesn't mean that.
Well, ratings
you cannot.
And popularity, because also there was recency bias involved as well, because Sekiro was released quite close. I can't remember when it was. It was near the end of the year anyway.
I'm sorry. I just want to ask, sir. When Sekiro was released, were you even there? Didn't you see how many people were playing that game? Like the whole timeline was filled with Sekiro gameplay.
But again, that's not a popularity contest. You have to measure that based on how many people actually played that, not just your timeline.
Well, Death Stranding technically won the Game of the Year awards in 2019. Technically, it did. It won more Game of the Year awards.
More awards. Yeah. Okay.
Sure,
Then
but I think we're specifically arguing about the Jeff Keighley show
yeah,
right now.
I know we're talking about the Keeley and stuff like that, the Keeley Award.
But again, man, don't. I mean, look, you guys can have your opinions. For me, the Game Awards has like been a popularity contest for some years now because I've always noticed the most popular game is always the one that wins Game of the Year.
Yeah, but
And
is that
again,
true?
look at no. Look at the winners of Game of the Year for the last 6 years. Those games
Okay.
will always be like one of the most popular games in that
Okay, that's one
generation.
of the most popular. Okay, that's moving
Well,
the
yeah,
goal.
I mean, hold on, but Akira, that goes hand in hand because if it's a great game, like if it's an amazing game, right? It's going to get popular because it's great. You know what I mean? So like Sekiro, right? Like Sekiro got popular, right? Due to like word of mouth and due to it getting so high reviews and stuff like that, and people played it.
Yeah,
it was
and people loved
extremely
it.
highly. It was extremely highly reviewed.
But why didn't
But
Resident Evil 2 win? Because that
I-
was really popular.
It was a remake. But
That doesn't matter.
do you remember?
No, it doesn't matter if it was a remake because it was completely different than the original.
No. What I'm saying
But
is,
this dude is nitpicking what I said. Fine, then I will go back to it. The most popular.
Nope.
I won't get back to it. You can nitpick what I say because I struggle with this fucking language.
Well,
but
it's not nitpicking because if you say it's one of the most popular, all of them
all
are
right.
probably the most
Fine.
popular.
yeah, but
It's the most popular.
Is right because we look at the politics of it. The popularity does come into it. Because do you remember the nominees of 2017? I don't know if any of you do. Do you know what one of the games nominated was in 2017? There was Persona 5, yes.
Celeste.
But there was Breath of the Wild. Do you know what else was nominated? PUBG.
Celeste?
PUBG. Was PUBG.
Yeah. Sure.
You look back on that now, you're like, how the fuck did PUBG get nominated? But that
it was popular.
Yeah.
It was extremely popular, and it was before Fortnite was just was only
It was one of the biggest games from that generation.
It was crazy because
hold on one
even
second. I need to ask something. Was it because of popularity or is it because PUBG pushed the industry forward?
No, I won't
No, it
see
was
it that way
popularity.
because janky as fuck, man. It was janky as fuck.
Yeah,
it was not really
terrible.
by thing as a good game. It was just really fun to play. If you got like casual gaming, casual gaming
Right, 'cause
just
it
to
was-
casual
'cause-
game.
Right, because it was one of the battle royale games that made the genre popular, right? It wasn't the first. It wasn't the first.
When it wasn't the
but
first,
it was the one that
It was the one that blew it up. It was the one that made it blow up. That's why Fortnite is popular.
But what I was about to say earlier before Omar came in, usually a lot of the times is one of the more popular games that usually wins, but as far as nominations, not there be games that are on there that are not even popular. Like I meant, like that one game, Celeste, like they'll have like indie games on there, right? And stuff like that. Yeah,
Inside.
Right.
Okay, but then you have to define what's popular because these are definitely games that were in the spotlight at that year. They were popular in the sense that everybody was talking about these games. So I don't necessarily agree to say that it's always the most popular game that wins. I mean, if you look at God of War versus Red Dead, which one was the most popular?
I'm sorry, it was God of War. God of War is more popular. No way, man. It was God of War.
No, Red Dead 2
was more
Red Dead 2 was because Red Dead 2 sold more.
I mean, it's a multiplat. It's a multiplat.
Right.
That doesn't matter.
I know what you're trying. I know what you're trying to say, but it's sold more, right? Regardless if it's of a multiplat, and it had a higher Metacritic score. And it had a higher Metacritic score than God of War. If you remember, right? I remember that year, everybody was expecting Red Dead 2 to win.
Yeah.
Remember, because even during the show, during the show, it won like 8 awards in a row. It was like Red Dead 2, Red Dead 2, Red Dead. And everybody was like, "Oh, Red Dead 2 is gonna win." So it was an actual surprise that God of War ended up winning that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so we actually went on a tandem with this one. Let's get it back to what's actually about. Rockstar milking its franchise and their fan base took an L with it. Like if you bought the collector edition, the collection edition, like hey, that's on you. Enjoy it. But clearly, from I've not played it, and I'm never gonna play it. But what I've seen, I mean, it's almost as if the original one is the better version. Who actually owns the game? Who can talk about it? I'm curious.
I
Drake
got it, but
does.
I only played part 3 first, though.
What are you talking about? What game?
GTA
GTA.
Grand Theft
Trilogy.
Auto.
No, I'm not buying that shit.
Nah, I'm not buying that
Neither
shit.
me.
Ray, that looks good
I
to
need
you.
I need somebody to play it so they can tell me about it. I'm really
What happened?
curious.
I'm sorry.
Not buying that
It's a
shit.
disaster. I've seen it. It's a disaster on YouTube, on Twitter. It's like how the visuals are so much worse than the original. How do you even get that? It's insane.
Yeah.
How do they have the nerve to sue those modders for making a better mod than their remaster?
Hey.
Yeah, how the modders made it better. Yeah, made a better version.
Yeah, have you seen it? I mean, it actually
Yeah.
looks better than what they did.
If Rockstar had been then
How the hell
And
modders
then-
be better than the developers themselves?
yeah.
That don't make sense.
Call them Flopstar now.
Oh man, not like this.
It's like, it's like developers need help, like developers. They focus
the
on
mighty
modders to
have
fix their
fallen.
game. Man,
I know everybody said they wanted a remake of this shit, but I'll tell you what, they would have did that, all these games would have been $70 each. People would have been complaining about that.
See, honestly, I wouldn't have complained. I would have bought a remake.
I would have preferred that though.
Yeah, I
Like
would
a complete remake, like an actual remake, and I would have.
Yeah,
bought that. I bought
so
Demon's
good.
I would have. I would have preferred. I would have preferred a remake of San Andreas. That's it.
Yeah.
That's like what I care about. It's the only GTA game I cared about in the trilogy.
I cared about all three of them, dog. I was like, bro, look, you got to get 3 right. You got to get Vice City right. You got to get it right, man. If they could have done it like they did with Mafia, it would have been a lot better job. That's
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
say
thinking.
Mafia they did such a good job with Mafia.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
It's still San Andreas, bro.
It's a shame.
It's bad, man.
Okay.
Rockstar fell off, man. It's sad. Sad shit.
Okay, let me segue then to a topic that you wanted, Akira. Well, basically you started it, and I'm gonna finish it, Akira. Which is as follows. He believed that Rockstar will
bounce back. Oh yeah.
And I am of the belief, and he has also believed that CD Projekt
Red bounce back. Yeah.
And I am of the belief that no, I'll bet not for CD Projekt Red. It might for Rockstar. Rockstar to do is put out a teaser trailer for GTA 6, and they're gonna go apeshit about, or 7, I forgot which version they are now, and they're gonna go apeshit about it. But when it comes to Cyberpunk, I mean CD Projekt Red, I absolutely don't see them ever bouncing back from it. I absolutely can't.
Really?
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they will.
After release The Witcher 4 and everything.
Yeah, I think.
Who's gonna trust them? Who's gonna trust them?
Oh, the hardcore CD Projekt fan. Like,
Bro, I would buy the next gen. By the way, just saying, if it's good. The next gen Witcher 3.
See, I care about CD projects.
Yeah, the next in Witcher 3 and Witcher 4, if it's good, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump right in. I don't know, man. I'm a sucker
I
like
feel
that.
like it's just the hardcore gamers that are upset with CD Projekt Red, like the casuals and stuff. If they see Witcher 4 and it looks good,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's fine,
that
like,
those dudes as
it's gonna
well.
be
Yeah,
I
this
think
is the problem, Karaba, as well. Yeah, we are in the minority. Like I said, the casuals
yeah.
they take over. Remember that
Casuals.
list, the most played PlayStation games. Remember that? Like we got FIFA and what were those games again?
Casuals.
where's
We got
that?
Like Call of
FIFA and
Duty,
Call of
Assassin's
Duty,
Creed.
Assassin's Creed. So yeah, the casuals are obviously the
It's the
majority.
casuals.
Yeah. So yeah, C Project Red would survive. Even Rockstar would survive because of the casual. Got GTA 5 still got them pumping up with money. So
Like,
you know,
like, I'm
Yeah,
surprised
yeah.
that's what they sell it to. Like, it's
but
just still selling.
it's all relative, right? Like we wouldn't trust Rockstar with any remasters, and we wouldn't trust CDPR if they say, "Oh, we're gonna make another new IP. It's gonna be first person." But if they're gonna make a Witcher 4, it's gonna be the same as Witcher 3, and then people are gonna buy it day one. And I'm gonna buy it day one because I love the Witcher 3.
The thing is the main argument is this. Like Karaba doesn't believe that some studios or developers can bounce back, and I make the argument that I believe that studios can still bounce back because Capcom and Square Enix proved it that bouncing back
That's
is
true.
possible.
Yeah.
I told this story a lot of times. Capcom, Square Enix were at the verge of closing bankruptcy, man. Like literally being gone from the map. They were on that verge. And after that, they made some really good decisions, and now they're two of the most profitable companies in Japan. One of the most, two
Sony
of the most
bounced
successful.
They
So they bounced back.
they did bounce. I mean, Square Enix kind of still making mistakes when it comes to their Western.
Yeah, true, but I mean, their situation though. Their situation though.
I'd like to talk about that maybe next podcast. Or what the fuck's going on with Square Enix? But
Yeah.
I think if a company can come back with quality games, as you said, like Capcom did, they just like, right, let's just focus on our core IP. Let's do that. I think that's what Square Enix did with the Japanese development studios anyway. And I think they're like, we're focusing on our core IP. We're going to put out some quality games. And that's what they did. I think in particular, Square were kind of were trying to focus in on the Japanese audience when it came to like Nier Automata and stuff like that. But it is true, and I think if CD Projekt, the thing is with CD Projekt is that they were kind of had this almost like a holier than foul message when it came to we're so consumer friendly and all this.
Yeah.
They're
really tooting their own horn.
There's CD Projekt Red development team, and then CD Projekt is the overall company, and they own GOG and all the type of thing. They're extremely.
We live great for others, eh?
Country. Sorry.
We live great for others.
But that was one of the we live great for
they did say that.
And it was, I think, what was that to do with? It was to do with they're not putting microtransactions in.
And then they did.
And then they did it. So they know, when it comes to the thing with CD Projekt is they're I believe they're publicly traded, right?
Yeah.
I thought through. Am I the only one that thought through their budget?
Yep. No.
No.
I truly thought through their budget.
Some people did. Some people called them out. So some people said stuff at the time, but for the most part, they were the industry darlings.
Yeah. I never believed in them, and I actually got called out. I told them they put 3 games out, and one game which is Witcher 3 is critical claim, but at the same time it just one game. And the way they went,
but it was a really, really good game.
They went at everyone else, yet they were silent with Cyberpunk. They showed a few things. There was information about things getting cut out and stuff like that.
Oh
From
yeah, they
from the
did.
moment I heard World Running didn't make it, I was like, yeah, it's over. This game is
See, there were
dead in the
so
water.
many red flags, but honest, I'm
And
gonna be honest.
red
I
flag after red flag. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing is with CD Project, like this is from an outside perspective because I haven't played their games, but I'm saying that they're put up on a pedestal for these games where, yeah, one was a break or hit. They had to get through 2 Witcher games, so they got till 3, and then Cyberpunk. But they don't own those IP. They didn't come up with The Witcher. They didn't come up with Cyberpunk. They're licensed games. So like I feel like there's only so much. I'm like, from my point of view, I'm like, well, there's only so much credit they can get for that, in my opinion, because they did not.
right,
Oh
right.
They haven't done anything
no.
original. Yep.
They don't. Oh, they've never
No,
named it a
I
game.
disagree with that completely. I
Okay, go
disagree with
ahead.
that completely. I mean, first of all, you could say that for everything because God of War didn't invent Greek mythology, but the thing is, The Witcher
Yeah, but they create a
I,
whole
I,
new
I mean,
character.
novels are based on.
I'm referring to the
No,
IP. The IP.
yeah, no. But I know, for example, Witcher novels are generally
Mythology.
like.
Greek
Sorry,
mythology
can I
is not
finish?
an IP.
Yeah, but sorry, can I finish? The Witcher novels are generally short stories, so it's not really that they just adapted an existing story. The entire story of The Witcher 3 is mostly just an original story, and all the side quests and shit like that wasn't from the books. So I don't agree with that. Just because it is an existing IP, they shouldn't get given credit for how good that game is. I mean, before the games, the only media that people knew from The Witcher was like a Polish TV live action TV show, which was really poor quality. So I don't agree with this assertion that just because it's a licensed property, we shouldn't give them credit for making a fantastic game. I mean, that game before the Last of Us Part Two came around, that was my game's generation. So I give him all the credit for it. This game was amazing, and yeah, maybe there are studios that thrive from licensed properties, and that's fine. I mean, there's plenty of studios who do that. I mean, we're giving something has Ratchet and Clank. We're giving them a lot of praise for Spider-Man, and that's a licensed property too. So I don't think that's a problem.
No, sorry. Maybe I didn't convey myself properly. I didn't mean that they didn't make good games and the games weren't good. I was referring to the fact of the company itself being put up on a pedestal and seen as an industry darling and almost worshipped in that sense. And what I was saying is that, okay, well, the games are good, but from my point of view, I'd like to see them come up with something original before I can say, okay, yeah, that's they really came up with something great, an original concept.
Yeah, okay, but then you're still sticking to the point that because it's not an original IP, you don't trust that assessment. And the assessment is not just based on The Witcher 3 and partially Witcher 2. It's also based on the fact that they've done a lot of consumer-friendly things with The Witcher 3. They released a lot of free updates, and when they released paid expansions, they were massive. They were almost as big as the actual game. And in GOG, for example, is also quite popular because it's a DRM-free store. When you compare that to Steam. So they've earned their reputation, and they burned a lot of that with Cyberpunk. So yeah, we should be skeptical, but I don't agree with the initial assessment of Omar that just because there was one game that's really good, and some would debate that because they will also say that The Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 are really good, but that game was so good that earned them the reputation, and that say Bungie, for example, when they made the first Halo. I mean, there was also one game that put them on the map. So I don't agree with that assessment that just because it was one game we shouldn't trust. I mean, I look, I admit that with all the things that happened, I also saw the signs that Cyberpunk was probably going to be a disappointment. But I stuck with it because I thought, okay, it's probably going to be as terrible as it was when it came out, because of The Witcher 3 was so fucking good. And that blinded everybody, and it blinded them as well, because they thought, CDPR thought they could get away with anything because they had that reputation.
The problem comes when they went after other companies. Like, first put your game out, then talk your shit. Even when you released Witcher 3, which I played, I didn't finish. It didn't release in a great state. It had issues. So don't come here talk shit just because you gave a free DLC. Which, again, it's a fantastic thing to do, giving free DLC. But at the same time, I just hate fake people. And they came over so fake. I was like, yeah, no, you're fake, and I'm waiting on you for you to fail. And they failed.
Damn, Omar.
Man, I think they should have hyped it up too quick, man. They should have waited until they knew what was going on before they talked about it.
They should have skipped the old generation, focused on next generation only, and they should have not acted like this. All this did is make them the bad guys, and that's on them.
Yeah. See, my issue with CD Projekt Red is about what Jody said, how they are they were considered the industry darlings, and it's like I kind of agree with her. It's just like they didn't have a catalog as deep. People were trying to compare them to Naughty Dog.
Yeah, I was
they don't have a catalog anywhere close to those two developers and studios. Like, why are y'all trying to put them on this pedestal? People who've been doing this for so long with such a deep catalog of games, and that was the issue I had with
the fact
that comparison.
That you're putting it
they're not
fucking Naughty Dog, excuse me.
Yeah, I was just nah. I wouldn't say all that. They're good. I'm not, knocking them down. They do. Witcher 3 was a great game.
No.
Let's calm down with the comparisons to these top industry studios.
If I think I've spoken to people that actually love their platform and stuff like that. The reason why they were beloved and people were putting them on the pedestal at Naughty Dog because of how they supported PC. They have
yeah, that's true.
Basically, that's all it is. It's never to do with the game. It's just how they supported the PC community. That's why they were put on such high pedestal. I truly can't believe just because of one game you're going to be places. No. And also...
Well, believe it.
Yeah?
We said believe it.
Yeah, and I want to say...
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I put them on a pedestal, at least in terms of expectations for Cyberpunk, because that game was so good. And I don't care if that was it wasn't their only game, but if that is the only good game they've made, it was that good.
Okay, Jody, I need to ask you something to make sure that I am not putting words in your mouth.
Okay.
You explain to me what did you mean when you said talking about it's not their own IP, they didn't create it. Do you say that in a positive light or in a negative light? They shouldn't deserve, they doesn't deserve the credit, the praise because the IP is not even there. It's not original IP. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, it doesn't mean that they're not good games. They don't make good games, or even really great games that people really like. What I meant was that they were kind of put way up on a pedestal, and I said for me, from an outside perspective, if they did come up with some original, if they did come up with some original their own IP, then I could kind of maybe understand the hero worshipping a little bit more.
Okay. So then let me ask you this: what's your take on Insomniac games with Spider-Man? Spider-Man is not the original IP.
Yeah, that's right. So Spider-Man is an incredibly popular IP. Arguably, I would say, definitely one of the most popular and recognizable superheroes. And Spider-Man has been licensed in a bunch of things, and there have been Spider-Man games before in Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man. I remember playing one on the PS2, and when you web slung the
MPS1, yeah.
the web just went up in the air and it wasn't a.
Yeah, it just went to the clouds.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah, that's the PlayStation 1 version. I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so there have been I would say prior to Insomniac Spider-Man, there were games that were okay. There were games that were not that great. There were games that were really bad. There have been really bad superhero games. I think superheroes is something in particular that's it's kind of challenging to translate that into good gameplay. But I think when it comes to the Marvel Spider-Man, the Insomniac game, yes, the fact that the IP is popular helped, but the game was also good. So it was a popular IP coupled with the fact that it was a really good, well-made game. So it was both. It was both. It was
Okay.
definitely. It definitely
Witcher 3.
definitely factored into it. Yeah, I said that. I didn't say CD Projekt Red didn't make good games. I said their games are good.
No, okay, but the thing, I think the almost argument is that this is a very they're praised for that game in particular, and that game is not their own IP. So
The reason
that game.
The reason that the hero worshipping of CD Projekt wasn't just to do with their games, though. It's also to do.
No, of course not.
They did do consumer friendly stuff, but that was in the past. Though, the problem is that they pivoted on some of that stuff with the microtransactions, and who knows what they're going to do.
Sure.
Do in the future. I think that maybe now they're going to try and earn some of that reputation back. So maybe some of their plans around microtransactions
No, because
will change.
what's called they said don't expect anything from the next gen version of CD Projekt of Cyberpunk 77. Like how you gonna create a new, how you gonna build up goodwill when even the next gen that you promised is not going to be
I think
it.
I think they've given up on Cyberpunk because there were a lot of things planned for that like a lot of expansions that probably will never happen.
Yeah, where all the DLCs at?
Yeah, exactly.
They're still trying to fix the game. They have a roadmap. You can see they made a new roadmap that goes into 2022, and it's just like hot fix 1 point. All these hot fixes on it. You can see it online on their website.
They're gonna fix the game at some point, but they're not. They've given up on this game because this has done so much for the reputation that they're just gonna release Witcher 4 and hope that everybody's gonna love them again and forget about Cyberpunk.
I think what they're going to do. This is just what I think they will do with Cyberpunk. I think they're effectively going to have like a second launch of the game. I think what they will do is that they will. I hope they would anyway. Do a free next gen patch for people that already own the game. But I think they will make another SKU of the game, and it will be like Game of the Year edition next gen version, and it will be physical and digital and new SKU that they're going to release and charge the full price again for that. I think. Or maybe $50 or something. I think they'll do something like that personally, but that's just my speculation.
Yeah,
the story is good. The story is really good, man. They just need to fix the
I like
gameplay.
the story. I do like the story. It's just, man, like it was crashing on me every 30 minutes. I just couldn't get through it.
Really? That's really bad as well.
Yeah, like I literally had to reboot the game. Like it was when I was too much. Just with all this whole city, it was just too much. Yes, it would literally just crash. Like, It was so sad too because it was good enough for me to keep turning it on, but it is what it is.
It only crashed on me one time.
Oh, see, you lucky.
Okay. Anyone else have to say anything about this whole situation? Otherwise, I'm gonna move on from it.
You go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
So, Jody, go ahead.
Yes.
Break down Nintendo, please.
Okay, so this news is a little bit older at this point because I wasn't able to talk about it last week as we ran short of time. But Nintendo did release their financials about a week ago. And one of the things that caught a lot of people's attention was the fact that Nintendo said they had essentially they gotten a lot of cash, and they talked about how they were going to invest this. The president Shuntaro Furukawa went into a little bit of detail, and there is a like a little graphic that they released, and it's showing their future outlook and how they're expanding IP and all of this, and then another graphic that's a text of cash utilization. Now it seems that they with the unexpected success. It's even Furukawa says that they didn't it exceeded even their expectations. The success of the Switch hardware and software sales, and essentially they seem to have accrued around 900. I think it's 900 billion yen. Um, so they talking about how they're going to utilize this cash and investing in R&D, capital expenditures, and how the efforts they're going to be made in games, non-game entertainment. So the thing that caught people's attention was just honestly just one sentence where they said Furukawa commented on that we are not dismissing the possibility of M&A activities, but our first priority is to organically expand our own organization to continue Nintendo's creative culture. Now, M&A means mergers and acquisitions. And one of the things you may or may not know about Nintendo is that they actually don't make a lot of acquisitions. And people wonder about their studios, and I've even heard people say, "Well, Nintendo doesn't have any studios. They don't have any studios," because I think one of the things is that they most of their studios don't have like a catchy name like Naughty Dog or something like that. It's just like EPD1, EPD2, and they have teams they have a lot of people. Their studios are pretty big actually, and they have people teams within those studios, and it has a kind of a much less rigid they have a much less rigid studio and development culture than you see in Western companies. So it's known that they have the Zelda team, they have the 3D Mario team, they have the Splatoon and Animal Crossing team. So things like that. They do have the most recent acquisitions they've made. They did acquire Next Level Games, which is a Canadian development studio that made Luigi's Mansion 3, and prior to that they had made I think Mario Strikers and some other games like that. The situation with that studio was that they were actually they did wanted to put themselves up they put themselves up for sale. The owners wanted to sell that studio, which is an independent studio, and it was possibly going to be sold to another company, and it would have been Nintendo would not have. They're not guaranteed to have that developer. And Luigi's Mansion 3 was extremely successful, was well received. So basically, it was kind of like their hand was forced. Like they kind of had to, because it was a really good developer, right? And then prior to that, the last acquisition they made was like it was in the 2000s. Was 2007 or so? Anyway, they acquired Monolith Soft. Was the the last I mean, this was like over 10 years ago. Monolith Soft, who are known for making the Xeno series. They make Xenoblade, and prior to that, they made the Xeno Saga and the so again. So they don't make a lot of mergers and acquisitions. Additionally, something you may or may not know is that some of the studios they work with that you would assume Nintendo owns, they do not own. They technically are independent studios, but they're so closely entwined with Nintendo that they basically could not be independent studios on their own because a lot of the time they're either working on Nintendo IP or they co-own the IP with Nintendo. And the studios were started by Nintendo employees. They shared they're in the same build. They are in Nintendo's building. So example of that would be Intelligent Studios, Intelligent Systems, who makes Fire Emblem, WarioWare, Paper Mario. Nintendo doesn't own them. They do not own. All these years, you think, well, they would have bought them. They have not bought Intelligent Systems. Quite famously, you may or may not know, they don't own Game Freak, the makers of Pokemon. Nintendo does not outright own Pokemon. They own about 30% of the Pokemon company. So I think when it came to this talk of mergers and acquisitions, people kind of got excited because they're seeing obviously Sony has made a number of acquisitions recently. Microsoft has made very large acquisitions. Well, Nintendo, they've got 900 billion yen. They're gonna be out there buying all these. I don't think that's necessarily what's going to happen. There may or may not be acquisitions. I think for Nintendo to make an acquisition, I think it'd be something like, and this is something I think like, for example, Tencent. I think if Tencent could own any Japanese video game company, I think the one they would want to own would be the Pokemon company. I think that's
interesting. I think if Nintendo is going, go ahead.
No, sorry, you go.
I think, and me and Akira, we talked about this. If Nintendo going to buy any company, it will be Platinum Games.
I think that may have been the case. I can see where you're coming from because they do work very closely with Nintendo. They've made 2 games for them recently. They're making Bayonetta 3, of course. I can see where you're coming from, but Platinum Games very much wants to be independent, and they've had investment from
Tencent. They're not doing well financially. Not only that,
but
I don't know what Platinum Games financials are.
I mean, you clearly don't know who Hideki Kamiya is. You know that man. That man don't give a fuck. That man don't give a fuck.
Him and Kamiya is not the CEO. Someone else is the CEO of Platinum Games. I've forgotten who it is. But
yeah. Sashina, but
yeah, that's right. So they as Akira said, they're quite I definitely think they want their independence. I think that's why they've tried so hard, and they did that Kickstarter for the Wonderful 101, which was an IP that was co-owned with Nintendo, and I think Nintendo gave them that IP to. I think there was something. I think they had some sort of agreement or something, like a good faith, because they have quite a good relationship with Nintendo, and I can see where you're coming from. That may be a good choice because they've worked closely with Nintendo, but I don't think that's what Platinum Games
mainly I say that because, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, this is gonna sound crazy, but you know that it's actually more likely that the Platinum Games would rather choose to work with Tencent than Nintendo. And
what?
My reasoning is simple, and I'm gonna tell you right now. You may not believe this, but the indie studios that Tencent, backs funding or support or gives resources to, they actually have 100% freedom. Believe it or not. That's why, knowing Platinum Games that they want their full freedom while having the resources and the funds for their games, Tencent is more likely than Nintendo. Because the thing with Nintendo is, they are still a big publisher, they still have a say in in what happens to games. And when a publisher has a say in what happens to games, you don't really have 100% freedom as you think you do.
Yep.
And a lot of Japanese developers don't like that.
Okay, was 100% right. Nintendo is very controlling of their IP, and when it comes to Tencent, again, okay, is right that basically Tencent has that hands-off approach because they are just looking to have their hands in a lot of pots to generate a lot of money and have. I do think they want to have some influence and some of that's to do with the fact that a lot of Chinese games until very recently a lot didn't leave China and weren't popular internationally, whereas you look at a lot of Japanese IP, games across games and include anime and stuff like that. It's popular worldwide. So I think that's one of the reasons why they have been investing in a lot of Japanese companies. And Tencent is kind of hands off in that sense and we saw recently a studio change hands. That was Grasshopper Manufacturer went from Marvelous to which was very surprising. And so that must have been a deal between Marvelous, or is it Chung? Not Chung. What the parent company is, but yeah, but that must have been a deal between Marvelous and Tencent, because Grasshopper Manufacturer wasn't an independent company. So yeah, there was some sort of deal involved, and I think that's because again Suda51 is kind of one of these kind of off the wall creatives who kind of wants a lot of freedom. But that situation, I'm going off topic a bit, but that situation is a little bit odd because Grasshopper Manufacturer don't own Travis Touchdown or the No More Heroes franchise. They don't actually, yeah. So that's actually still owned by Marvelous. So they're not taking that. They've only taken a few IP with them. So I don't know what they're going to do in the future. But what Nintendo is, back to Nintendo. So what they are doing is with this money, because they basically said that they've made so much money and they've made all this cash, and they're going to do something with it. So it seems like they're shoring up their reinvesting into their internal studios. So this is something similar to Sony made a statement about SIE and how they were investing into their internal studios, and Nintendo actually has used the president has use similar language about organic growth, and so they're investing that money into their studios and also into they're talking about, it says something about their My Nintendo accounts and My Nintendo store, which is
their online
the online stuff, and also physical stores, because they're opening a new store in, I think, in Kyoto. I think they're opening a new one there. So it's stuff like that they're investing in, and also they are investing in expanding their IP, because they're making a Mario movie, right? So it's going to be things like that. They've invested with Universal. They've made Super Nintendo World in Japan, and there's a couple in the United States that are going to open in a couple of years. So it's stuff like that. So Nintendo has had unprecedented success with this. They've made a fuck ton of money. They really have. But at least they are saying we are reinvesting this in our studios. But I personally do not think Nintendo's going to be out here buying platinum games and all these. Like I said, they haven't even bought intelligent systems. They don't own intelligent systems. They don't own HAL Laboratories, who makes Kirby. You know, they don't own Game Freak. It's all the they don't own Grezzo. You know, these kind of studios they work with that studios, but by the way, that work with no other companies. These independent studios that they literally work with no other companies ever other than Nintendo, and Nintendo doesn't own those studios. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to. Personally, I don't think they're going to be out here making a whole load of acquisitions. But I'm very interested to see what they do. They have we know some of their software lineup for next year, and I really hope that we see them investing in more things, more IP, like the work they're doing with Platinum Games with Bayonetta. So the situation with Bayonetta, if you don't know, is that essentially it's like it's like a licensed IP. So you need to look at it like how Sony's licensed Spider-Man for the Spider-Man games. They don't own IP, so it's kind of like that. So that Nintendo don't own the IP of Bayonetta, but they 100% funded and published Bayonetta 2 and 3. So they 100% they own those two games, not the first one, but they own those two games because they 100% funded it. So I hope they do more things like that. And they did a IP with Platinum Games called Astral Chain. And so I actually really hope to see some more new IP from Nintendo personally, even if it's smaller things, and bringing back some of their older IP. For example, we saw with Metroid Dreads that they hadn't had a brand new 2D Metroid in, what was it, almost 20 years or something like that. So like to see things like that. And recently they did actually invest in oh god, what's that company's name in Poland? And Square Enix invested them as well and it seems like they're going to be doing some of I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of the company right now. It's a Polish company who they do some kind of remakes and stuff like that. As I said, both Nintendo and Square Enix have invested in them, and I think that there's going to be some more older IP, or I hope that that's kind of the sort of thing they do, because Nintendo, like a lot of these companies, if you look at, you know, Sega, Square Enix, they're sitting on just a whole bank of IP that they are not utilizing anymore. So that's something I'd like to see: old IP and new IP.
I would not be surprised if I wake up tomorrow and see that Nintendo bought Square Enix. And
I
can't
see why that would not happen.
Before anyone jump at me
for
that,
900 million only.
Need to realize something.
Nintendo has more money than that. They have
more money, yeah.
sitting in the bank that they.
Yeah.
They're Japan's most cash-rich company.
The thing is,
that was the amount that they said that it has for
game. Right now, the competition is Microsoft or Square, or PlayStation by Square. Like that competition is still there.
Well, I can explain to you why that won't happen if you like. I can explain to you.
Go ahead.
Japan has a lot of antitrust laws. Okay, so Square Enix, Sony, Nintendo, they're all publicly traded, and Square Enix is almost it. They're not just video games, you know. They're a manga and book publisher, toys and merchandise. And it's a game what people say about Sega. Sega is just one subsidiary of they merged with Sammy.
Sega.
Yeah, they're a huge company that makes toys, anime, you know, arcades, pachinko. They're huge companies, and I have.
They also have a theme park.
Yeah, they've got theme parks, golf resorts, all sorts of things. You just look, honestly, just the most cursory Google search, you can find that information. But Japan's antitrust laws means that, and I can't pretend that I'm not know the ins and outs of any laws, let alone ones in Japan. But the antitrust laws means that it's. a company can't just like you see. Look at all these kind of American companies that just buy, they're buying this whole company, this like they can't have what in one
Monopoly.
industry, having a monopoly. So if, for example, if Sony was to try and buy Square, and that would be considered a monopoly because of they have so much of the market when it comes to media, because they're multimedia companies, and of course Sony has a lot of they have their music, the movies, and everything. It would be it's seen as a monopoly within the company. So if you look back at the history of you can even look at some gaming companies, right? There's companies that we've got Square, Enix, Koei, Tecmo. They were separate companies. Sega, Sammy. They were all separate companies that merged. So it seems to be the laws around it seem to be that a company has to be practically bankrupt or completely bankrupt before they can another Japanese company can acquire them, and they then have to merge. So I think that's why there's so many mergers of companies. So you look at all these companies like Koei, Tecmo, Bandai, Namco. They were all separate companies that merged, where one of them was going kind of bankrupt. So that's happened with Sega, when they merged with Sammy. So Sammy didn't acquire them; they merged. So that seems to be the thing around it. And like, for example, Nintendo buying Square Enix, I don't think that's ever going to happen. These companies are on so I've looked it up, and because they're all publicly traded companies, they're on like this almost, I can't remember what the list is called. It's almost like a protection list and things like that. And they're considered companies of cultural importance and all this type of thing. But I think it would just be, that's why I like for an outside company like to also a foreign company like Microsoft, for example, to go in and buy. We're talking about a big, not like a small indie independent studio. We're talking about something that's a publicly traded, just walking like, yeah, we're having that. Like it does not seem to work like that. That's why you don't see it happen very often. Even Tencent, you think, well, Tencent is throwing their money away. Why haven't they gone and bought Sega or something like this? That's why they're investing in all these companies. They're buying. I think they've bought some smaller like mobile phone developers and stuff like that, but they were not publicly traded. I think that's the difference, and why it'd be exceedingly difficult. Not like I say, it's not completely impossible. It's just the laws are so convoluted and so disincentivized from doing that. Moreover, and Akira can speak to this, I know he said some stuff about this before, there's a business culture where people don't want to fuck over another company, basically. I remember you said something about that Sony wouldn't, if they bought Square Enix, it would fuck over Nintendo.
Thank you for the breakdown.
Yeah, that's true. They would, yeah.
Do you have anything to add, Akira? Because this is the new.
No, again, the Sega, Microsoft, Square Enix, Microsoft acquisition conversation, I don't really join it anymore, because even Genki Gamer Genki Gamer loves Xbox, and he could tell you exactly why there's so much complications in those deals. Basically, a lot of these people don't know about Sammy Sega. Again, Sammy Sega is not the games division of Sega, is actually a small part of Sega as a whole.
Yeah.
So what's bigger to them is, of course, the movies, the music, the pachinko, the arcades, the theme parks, the blah blah blah, all the thing that Sega owns. So basically, what I'm saying is, if they want the game division of Sega, they need to buy Sega Sammy themselves, which is it's just almost impossible, because first of all, Sammy Sega is important to the Japanese government because of how big they are, and not only that, they service a lot of Japanese stuff. Let's call it like that, right? A lot of Japanese stuff, and they are very, when it comes to the laws, they will be a bit more on the stricter side, because the government actually profits from, not really profits, but the government gains something from them as Sammy Sega as they are. So if they want the game division of Sega, they need to get Sammy Sega themselves, and I don't know if Microsoft is ready to take on that responsibility.
That would be a stupid business decision. Do you know why? Because why would you go and buy a whole company that has all these business divisions that you do not do any business in? Microsoft does not do business in theme parks and anime and all this stuff like this. Just so essentially, so you can get Persona on Xbox. It'd be illogical. It'd be illogical because most of Sega's games go on Xbox, except for like the Atlas games, right? So it'd be straight. It would, to me, I'm saying it doesn't make that wouldn't make sense as a business system.
It also doesn't make sense to me. It's the same with Square Enix. It's exact same reason for Square Enix. I don't see Capcom, Sega, or Square Enix selling themselves at all because it just doesn't make sense to me in a business perspective. Like, yeah, I don't get it. That's all. That's why I don't see it any possible. Not even Microsoft, even Sony themselves, Nintendo themselves. I don't see it possible because of those complications. And again, Japanese culture, they don't want to fuck others over.
Do you see Sony merging with Square?
Merging is more of a possibility, to be honest, because merging it doesn't fuck anybody over. Because, for example, if Sony and Square Enix would merge, that will not damage the business with Nintendo, because it's just it's a merger, right? They both get a say in the things that they do.
I don't see that happening.
But that wouldn't happen.
Also, the problem with the merger though is once again, it's almost monopoly because of how big Sony and Square Enix both are. Even Sega and Sony is also almost a monopoly, but not exactly, but almost a monopoly if they would merge, because they're both such big business and they have so many businesses. So if you have so many businesses covered between two companies and it's only in one basket, it's almost a monopoly, because you don't really have another competition anymore when two of the biggest join together. Which is actually not allowed anywhere. Supposed to be. So I'm always for the acquisitions that I will support are those that that does not fuck other companies over, because I'm talking about publishers, right? Square Enix getting acquired, Capcom getting acquired, it's gonna fuck them a bit over because of their Nintendo revenue. Their Nintendo revenue is a big deal. Capcom's Nintendo revenue at 30% is already a big deal. You just don't cut that. Even in Japanese business culture, you just don't cut that shit. So I don't see it. Like I said, you're just gonna keep seeing Sony doing this and here and there. Maybe build their own studio, again, Japanese studio. But I don't really see them buying a publisher. Partnership, yes. But beyond that, I don't see it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree. And Sony has a very close relationship with Square Enix as it is, and gets like all of their games anyway. So I don't know what acquiring would achieve, really.
Octopath Traveler, I really believe it's coming to PlayStation someday. I believe in it.
Well,
it's a bit dumb. It's a bit dumb not to be honest, because those games do well on PlayStation. Those kind of games do well on PlayStation.
The thing is, one of the reasons why that's probably not, because it's way out of exclusivity by now, and I think the reason it's not on. And I'm sorry to say this because I love that game. I love Octopath Traveler. But I don't think Sony gives a flying fuck about that game. I don't think they care. Putting that game on PlayStation is not going to do anything for them of any significance at all. And I think the reason it's there, Sony doesn't care, and it's an old game, and Square Enix doesn't care. The reason it went on Xbox is because Microsoft paid them. I think they handpicked Octopath Traveler because they thought it was a game that was highly rated. I think they thought it would bring some sort of prestige or something, because it was a highly rated game, critically acclaimed game. And I think that because I mean, why did that game go and not, Voice of Cards, that game that just came out, or something like that? Why didn't Neo: The World Ends with You go on Xbox? Why did because I think Microsoft handpicked that game with to go along with Dragon Quest 11S and Dragon Quest Builders, and I think it was like a part of a deal, and that game went over there, and in my opinion, it did not do well because it didn't even show up in the most played charts, which I've talked about on Twitter before. I don't think that the audience for that game is on Xbox. I don't think the actual audience on Xbox gives a fuck. But Sony as a company, I don't think they care. Unfortunately, and I love Octopath Traveler. By the way, play it. It's fucking fantastic. It's on a lot of platforms now.
I'm waiting on it to go to PlayStation.
It's on PC. It's on Switch. It's on Stadia. Wait, hang on. I think it went to Stadia. Yeah. Yeah. So again, that's Google paying to have that game. So I don't think Sony, that's for them, that sort of game is not going to move the needle for them. So I think that's the reason. And I think like Square Enix, they can't be bothered. They maybe don't think it's worth their while, and they'd want a bag from Sony. And Sony's like, well, fuck no, I ain't giving you a bag for that game.
Sup, Persona?
Yeah, I can see that.
How are you doing? We leave it at that. Anyone else have anything to say about the topic?
No,
Nope.
I'm learning a lot though. This is very interesting.
Final topic. What's called Beyond Good and Evil 2. It's going to be a quick one.
No.
Hey. Love
so
Beyond
upset.
Good and Evil.
I'm so upset about that news. The news is so upsetting, man. I love that game.
It is upsetting because this is Ubisoft at its finest. There is now, okay, for everyone that doesn't know, there is now a rumor, which I don't even believe it's a rumor, it's a factual information, that Beyond Good and Evil is suffering from developmental hell, which, again, how do you turn an IP that was promising to a fucking multiplayer? I can't comprehend that. And I will never be able to comprehend that. Okay, before you go, Akira, before you go, I'm gonna let you go because I know you're gonna rage. But let me rage first. Do you watch the leaked gameplay that they first revealed? No. Before they revealed part 2, when there was a leaked gameplay of Jade running in a city doing parkour.
I saw it, yeah.
I saw it. How fucking amazing was that? Why couldn't they just give this and call it a day? And we would have been excited. And go ahead, Akira.
Again, it's so upsetting, man. Like, the most upsetting part about Ubisoft to me in general is, they got this potential to have hits, but then they fuck it up themselves. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it, man. Like they start so good, but then they fuck up somewhere there, and it really upsets me because it's always this promising thing that doesn't become promising anymore. And Beyond Good and Evil 2, there were 2 footages. One is that with Jade, doing parkour. The second is that monkey flying around. And that was so cool. Like they did it in Riders Republic, right? You could fly in that damn game. So they got the tech. They know how to fucking do it. So I don't know what's the hold up. You know what I mean? It's annoying because it's promising, and they don't want to deliver. And I like right now, Ubisoft is kind of like Rockstar. They, it's solely about the money. They will only work something that has the money in it. That's kind of like what I think, and I have this feeling that Ubisoft does not believe in the IP anymore.
Yeah.
That's why they're not giving so much effort anymore. And did you hear the dog? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the dog is loud.
Yeah,
It's
being
Ubisoft
really
too.
angry. Kill you!
Oh, Jesus. You told him
Oh,
Kitty?
no. He's not listening, man.
Not listening. He's a puppy boy, so
Aww.
road breaker. So
If my cat can meow, your dog can ow ow.
Oh, wow.
Make it quiet.
One sec.
Yeah, that's how
One-
I want you to say it in Arabic. Ow ow.
no, 1 sec. Hey, Kiri.
Oh, Persona.
Did you just tell Kitty?
Despair. I hate you, Despair. I highly recommend you playing Beyond Good and Evil. It's a
Despair.
fantastic game.
Again, so sorry. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's annoying that Ubisoft got this. They have potential to make bangers. They don't go through with it. And Beyond Good and Evil 2, again, was so promising, but yeah, now they're saying it's on the verge of cancellation. And it get me to thinking, like, what the fuck? So yeah, I'm disappointed, man. I love Beyond Good and Evil. I played that game like 3 times, finished it 3 times. And it's just so good, and yeah, it was unique, and I was really looking forward to the second one when they announced it. I was one of the ones who was really hyped about it, and then yeah, like I said, I saw the footage with the parkour, Jadon parkour, and the monkey flying around the space colony. It was just gold, and I can't believe that I cannot play that anymore because Ubisoft's fuck it up once again. There's nothing new anymore. Like the last good game that they now release is officially Riders Republic, and
Yeah, that was good.
and funny enough, Riders Republic is actually a game for casuals if you think about it. That kind of game. That kind of game, Riders Republic, is kind of like a game that normally casuals would be attracted to, and I was attracted to it. I think it's a good game, and it looks really fun. But yeah, I really have a feeling that Ubisoft does not give a fuck anymore about IPs that they think that it's not gonna succeed.
Yep.
Like they don't even try. They stopped trying, is what I was trying to say. They even want to make, what was that? They want to make a game live service now, another IP.
Far Cry.
I'm sorry, what?
Far Cry.
Yeah, Far Cry, and I'm like, yeah, it's all about the money. It's the money.
Assassin's Creed, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed as well. It's basically Jerry Maguire, right? Show me the money. Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Show me the money. Yeah, go ahead.
Anyone else played Beyond Good and Evil?
No.
Show me the money.
Hey, I have something to say. Oh, no, not here. No, sorry. Hold on.
Basically, this
I
is.
was talking to her for a second. I wanted to
This
say
is the
something
funny.
about Beyond Good.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You guys
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I wanted to say something about Beyond Good and Evil before you guys move on from it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, do you remember when they first showed Beyond Good and Evil 2, and they had Joseph Gordon-Levitt come onto the stage, and he was talking about this thing called Hit Record, and that Ubisoft and Beyond Good and Evil 2 were partnering with Hit Record. Do you guys remember anything about that?
I absolutely do remember that, yes. And he was on the stage talking about getting artists to contribute and all this type of thing, and there's putting art in the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, my friend, who is heavily in the community of Hit Record, so in there, they post I don't know what you want to call them, like jobs, so to say, where you could say, hey, you can contribute like music or like a bit that we'll want to put on the radio or like graffiti, and then they'll look at that and then they might actually put that into the game, right? So my friend who's heavily within the Hit Record community last year came to me because I was talking to her about games, and then I mentioned the Beyond Good and Evil 2. And last year, she came out to me and said, "Yeah, it's not coming out."
What? Really?
Yeah, because because she said it's really, really bad. She said, "Yeah, I don't think that game will ever come out. It looks so bad."
No, I don't. This game is dead on arrival. This is the next Cyberpunk, sadly.
Oh, Cyberpunk
And
came
they
out.
have all themselves to blame for it.
Yeah, and like she told me that last year, and I'm not the kind of person that goes, "Hey, I have an insider, and they said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 looks like trash and it's not coming out," because I'm not that kind of person, so I
it
kept it
looks
to
like
myself.
trash. Again,
But you did have an
they
insider.
revealed that I couldn't
Cyberpunk is like
believe.
the standard now. You know, it's the standard for
Yeah.
fuck ups, basically.
Yeah, so I kept that to myself, and there
Akira,
was
don't
no
be
way
so
that
hard on
I
yourself.
could. Yeah, and there
Hey,
was no way that I could
I'm
prove
being
that she was
honest
right
about it, man.
either. So
I'm just being honest with myself. But no, you know what I made this this comparison, right? Like Rockstar and Ubisoft, and they're taking a book from they're taking a page from Nintendo's book. You know how to be scummy as possible. The problem is they're doing it really bad. Like Nintendo knows how to do it right, but they suck at doing it. They suck at being scummy because it doesn't work out for them. Nintendo, however, Nintendo gives games at least, like proper ones.
Then they rip you off, but you feel good about it.
Right.
Yeah, they rip you off, but you get the
Exactly.
game at least, right? But Rockstar and Ubisoft, they rip you off and game shit. So, which one would you prefer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean the microtransactions? Or no?
Yeah. No, GTA Trilogy is like, GTA Trilogy, for example, right? You had Nintendo also selling remasters for $60, but at least those games actually work properly, and they do give a better experience than the old ones, like Skyward Sword, for example.
Skyward Sword, they did actually add in controls and things like that. I think
Exactly. Yeah,
people
they did great.
I think people's issue with Skyward Sword was that they expected it to be and I'm not sure really how they expected it to be more of an upgrade and remaster. But I mean, the Switch can't do Xbox Series X graphics.
Well,
so I don't know how that would be possible, to be honest.
No, but the thing is, it was still a hit.
Travel after them find them
It was still
amiibo,
a hit.
right?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
They locked fast travel behind an amiibo.
Well, that's not exactly true, because the fast travel is actually in the game. You go to these bird statues, and you can fast travel. You can really fast travel in the game. As the game was on the Wii. The thing what they did with and they really badly explained it, to be honest with you. So that amiibo means that if you tap that amiibo, you can do it anywhere, including inside of a dungeon. But if you actually play the game, practically it takes like 30 seconds off. It doesn't really it doesn't really add anything, but the way they kind of explained it, people thought it was locked behind that amiibo. So it's really bad the way they explained it. But Nintendo in the past has. I think people were just saying about that because that was like a quote unquote bigger game. Because in the past, if you look at some games on the 3DS, they locked entire modes and content behind amiibo, like way more than what they did with Skyward Sword, and no one said anything about that. But I think it's because this was on Fire Emblem when they did it. Samus Returns, they locked the entire hard mode or something behind the amiibo, and then one of the, I think was it maybe Twilight Princess Remaster that they did on the Wii U. They locked some dungeon or something behind the amiibo. So what they did with the Skyward Sword amiibo was completely mild compared to what they've done in the past. They don't do that. They don't lock content behind amiibo anymore like they did on the previous system. But no one said anything about those because I think that it wasn't as popular and people didn't give a shit. So I think that thing was kind of overblown and a little bit misreported. And like I said, I'm someone like, you've probably seen me on Twitter and stuff like that. I like to dispel like some misinformation, and there was a little bit of misinformation around that amiibo and stuff like that. But it was partially Nintendo's fault with not communicating that properly.
So basically, misinformation because of Nintendo.
Oh yeah, I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still,
the entire practice with locking stuff on the amiibos is kind of scummy. But if you really want it, and without buying them, you actually can. I think there's an app for that, and you can just buy or you can find those codes online.
Well, that's true. It's just an NFC code, and you can find them. The thing is with Amiibo, it's not really essentially it's not really the content that people are that interested in. Like I said, they used to lock content, but like actual content, not actual content, in-game content with the Amiibo. Mm-hmm. What people care about more is the actual Amiibo itself is collectible. So people don't really get. So if you look at the amiibo that go with Smash Brothers, they with all the different characters, they don't really do that much. You can like train like a, what do they call it? Like an in-game fighter. You can do something where you train a fighter and give it different moves to your playstyle, stuff like that. It doesn't really add much. But you look at certain amiibo, you cannot get them. I want the Cloud Version 1 amiibo. I cannot get it. There's certain amiibo that they set out the popular characters and stuff like that. You can't get them. People want the actual amiibo themselves are collectible. That's the main reason people want them.
That's how you see that Nintendo is still a toy company, because they believe in creating scarcity, but might just making everything limited, even if it doesn't need to be.
Can you give me an example other than the Mario thing they did recently?
What's crazy than Mario?
That's a perfect example.
Give me. Yeah, they did that. That was limited. But do you have some other examples other than that?
Well, I think the amiibos themselves, some of them are quite limited.
But that's not because they made that. They didn't make them limited. They didn't make them limited quantity, and they do reprint them. It's just because they're so popular, they instantly sell out.
Not all of them.
Some of them you can readily get. So the less popular characters, you can readily just go and buy them for normal price. But if you are looking for like Majora's Mask, Link, which I'm looking for, and they did reprint them more recently. I think for the anniversary or whatever, as part of the anniversary, they reprinted all of them, and I can't get it. It's sold out. It's not because those are not produced in limited quantities. It's just
some of them are, but I'll trust you on it.
No, they're not limited. Blue. They're not. It's not like a limited edition, like for example, like a limited edition for a game or something. Amiibo aren't limited, but some of them, some of the less popular characters, or less popular ones, they don't reprint. And for ones that came out ages ago, like they're not reprinting the Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia amiibo. They printed them then and they're gone. If you want them now, you have to buy them on eBay, and they're extremely expensive. The limited quantity, I think, like, again, when I'm talking about misinformation, they did do limited with the Mario games recently, and I said name some other examples. There aren't any other examples because Nintendo hardly ever does that, and they haven't limited amiibo. I can assure you, they're just difficult to get because they don't make millions upon millions of them, and the popular characters, the popular ones just go, and they're difficult to get. That's all it is.
Was there a reason why they did that whole thing with the Mario game?
Well, you tell me. I don't know. Their reason. I can tell you the reason they gave. They said, Nintendo said, because it was part of a celebration of Mario for a limited time. That's the reason they gave. To me, it doesn't really make much sense. I don't know. Like, I can understand, like, the they produced like this Game and Watch thing, right? So they produced this Mario Game and Watch thing. Now I can understand why that's limited. You're not gonna reprint and reprint that. I can understand to extent the physical game, which was the Mario 3D collection thing. I can because it's a physical thing. I can't really understand why they then limited the digital version of it. I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I didn't know if you knew or something.
I don't understand when they did that. I will say though that they printed so many of those fucking Mario games and the Game and Watch that you can just literally just go, you can just buy them for normal price because they made so many of them. So even though they said it was limited, they're not making them anymore. But you can, if you want that Mario Game and Watch, you can. I think you can still sell them in stores and stuff like that.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to say about the topics? Nope. Then, with that being said, I'm gonna end it right here. It was a great show. And go ahead, Akira, do your outro. Hello? Okay, no Akira then. Go ahead, Blue, do your outro.
Yeah,
Wait, I thought I was done. Sorry, I thought I was done.
Wait, what's going on?
Oh wait, you're gonna wrap up or what?
Yeah. No, wait a second. Hold on. At first, I asked if anyone else have anything else to add, and then I don't have anything. I got no answer, so I was like, okay, then I'm gonna end it right here. But does anyone have anything else to add?
No.
No. Okay. So no. I was just confused because when I said then Akira, do your outro. There was no voice, no anything, and then I said Blue.
Now Akira will have to wait his turn. I'm gonna do my outro. Okay, yeah, I can hear you, but I'm doing my outro. So wait your turn, Akira.
Go ahead, Akira, do your outro.
No, I'm gonna do it. Come on.
Oh my God! Okay, here. You wanna?
I'm gonna do it. So yeah, it's Akira. You can find me on Twitter. You know, like you can see people trying to, fight the good fight. Yeah, I'm rude. I'm the devil, like everybody says. But yeah, no. It's all good. It was fun. Yeah, it's your turn now, man.
All right. This is Blue Rising, aka the Weep Sheriff. Keep it gaming, I guess.
Why you keep calling yourself Blue, man? Like I didn't even recognize you.
No, I didn't. I didn't realize you was Weep Sheriff either. I've got to be honest. I didn't know.
Weep Sheriff. You like this mysterious, like.
I had this on clear on YouTube before I went on Twitter, so I can help it. And I can't change it anymore because if I change my alt on Twitter, people will steal it. Plus,
no, you can change your one on Discord. Change this on Discord, or you can actually.
Man, like I
know.
If
people know me here as Blue.
If you right-click someone's name, I think anyone can.
All right, but I know now. All right, I'm sure.
I know. I can change it. Yeah. But people know me here as Blue Rising, so that's kind of why I keep it.
He said he's got two personalities, man. He can't help
it. Exactly. You can't help it.
Bro.
Well, I think the owner of the server can change the name so it displays only in that server with a different name. Is what I mean.
Yeah,
so
it's Karaba's job now.
Yeah, so Karaba could change it just for this server.
He ain't even listening. Lord.
He's not listening. He's gone to sleep.
I am listening, but I am busy, so be right back.
What did he say?
For fuck's sake, you guys didn't hear me, so I'm gonna say it again. I am listening, but I am also AFK, so be right back. Continue doing your outro.
Right.
And I will change your name later then, no problem.
Okay. I'll do mine then. I'm JCat, and I am Jody D on Twitter. That's JODIEDE. I talk about the video game industry and especially sales, and with a focus on Japan and the Japanese gaming companies and the Famitsu sales. So find me on Twitter if you are interested in that.
Oh, you're Jody.
Yeah. See, you
See, now
know
you
who
gonna
I
have to change your
Wait,
name.
yeah, but my name on Twitter, it says it's got my full name and then it's JCat. So I do have it
Nah,
written up.
you can't do that. You can't call out. You can't call out Blue and have it different.
He knows. He knows.
Oh man. Okay.
But
You gotta do your outro.
oh,
Kay is
yeah.
AFK because of her work. So Morgana, do your outro.
Oh, that.
Okay. Okay.
Oh
Okay.
wait, shit! I didn't
Yeah,
see
she's
you.
right
Sorry
there.
about that.
Awesome.
Hey, if you
Yeah,
look at me, I am
rude.
literally making food while talking to you guys. Go ahead. Do your outro, Kay.
See how much Omar cares about his panel
Yeah.
members.
Just make the food.
Yeah. Okay. I just like to play video games. That's it. I'm not like someone that does a lot of research, like the amazing JCat and Akira.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, I like to play video games, and I'll talk about the video games that I've played and what I love and what I hear around here. I like to make some jokes, post some jokes on
Oh
my
yeah, you
Twitter,
most
but
definitely do.
that's really about it.
Other
But
nation.
I love Akira. I wish to be like him one day. So famous. Oh, he's gone now. Dang
So
it. Okay.
he was
Man,
famous.
Whatever. He just
He
left.
left. He
He's
back.
like, damn. He just
Okay.
left. Okay, I see
Kim
that.
said
I
that.
see that now. It's
he's
okay. I
just
still
speaking
love
his
you,
accolades
Akira.
and he's just good.
I still love you, Akira. Anyways,
Aww.
but yeah, last thing I'd say is, Otter Nation. All right.
Hey,
Do
affirmations,
you
hold
have
up.
a Twitter handle, Kay?
Yeah, I'm in the group chat.
She's in the group
I
chat.
mean,
She's the dog.
yeah.
The dog?
Hey, dog. You ever see the promo picture with the dog? PlayStation hat
Representation dog
I
avatar.
in the group chat.
can't remember.
See, do you see? Do you
Uh-huh.
think, Kay? That's a you issue. You're just unimportant. People don't care about
Oh
you.
my
No.
gosh!
Sorry,
No, you just putting words. Okay,
there's just so many
she
people
just
in the
typed
chat.
something.
Oh, okay.
She just
Kate
typed
with
something.
Miss Doggo. Right, okay. I got it.
Yeah,
I'm just
Yeah.
joking. I'm just
you
joking.
just putting words all up in Jody's.
No, you're not, Omar. You're not joking.
Got it. I got it.
Go ahead. What's called Morgana? Do your outro.
What's it called? Okay, you know what? All right. You just winning so many points today. Hey everybody, it's Morgan, aka Chill Bandit on Twitter. Um, yeah, this was a great podcast today. I learned a lot. I appreciate everybody that came through. It was very informative. We may all have differing opinions on a lot of these things. I just like that we can all come together and say what we feel and what we think. And, it's just all cool. At the end of the day, it's all fun. It's all games. And we're all just here because we have a passion. So, that's it.
Shout out to everyone that came through. Rek, do your outro.
Nah, this is the wreck, I'll post my gaming videos and stuff on Twitter and sometimes YouTube. You can follow me if you want to. No matter. Y'all just have a blessed day, man.
Shout out to you. And I can't scroll down because okay. So give me a second so I can scroll down. I want to make sure if Wraith is here.
No, he left.
No.
Okay, so he left. Okay, then Chris Righteous, do your outro. And nice outro.
My bad, I was on mute. Nah, I didn't even talk today, really that much. Everybody was talking about other shit. I was playing the whole time, so I wasn't even paying attention.
Same here.
Yeah, you just came in and said, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 is game of the year, and then you bounced.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. Anybody who says otherwise is pap.
Chris, you don't
Said,
say.
listen,
You
I
don't really.
said what I
You
said.
say you were listening intently.
Nah, I'm actually gonna start a space right after this, a Twitter space.
Uh,
I
Giving
would join.
my impressions, huh?
I would join, but I need to make food and eat. So
Oh
have
no,
fun with your space.
I don't care. Nah, you good.
Damn, Chris.
Um, nah, I'm just saying it's like it doesn't. It's not gonna bother me. It's like, oh, y'all join. Y'all didn't join. I'm bothered. Nah, just follow me on Twitter and whatnot. Man, I'm gonna be on Weapon Wheel tomorrow as
Ooh.
well.
What's up?
Yeah, Weapon Wheel podcast tomorrow. So yeah, just hit me up if y'all into RPGs, JRPGs, action adventures, whatever.
Is that what y'all talking about?
I don't have your
What?
I don't. I don't have. Oh, no, I do follow you. I don't know. Some of you, I don't have your Twitter. I don't know.
You have all of our Twitter except for Chris Righteous. Like
yeah.
we are in the
Yeah, I
same
think
Nah,
group.
his.
we follow each other.
I think so. I remember. Yeah. I
Let
think.
me let me follow Jody real quick.
Yeah, it's the same profile pic.
I don't. How do I see the list
Yep.
of who is in this? Oh, wait. I don't know.
Oh, you just put the title of the group chat and it shows you everybody in it.
Yep. Ooh. No, the whole time everybody was talking, I was farming on. I was farming
Yeah,
on.
I ain't
Okay.
gonna lie. I'm getting
Well,
my ass whooped
well,
on hard. Ain't gonna lie.
with that being said, I'm gonna call it a day. Well, a show here. Shout out to
Night.
everyone that came through. Shout out to Chris Righteous. I actually wanted Chris Righteous to be a permanent member, but he is busy, so he got an open invitation. When he come, he come.
Right, it's because I'm already a panel member of like 2 podcasts. I don't
Yeah,
know if I can commit to a third.
yeah. That's why I said you got an open invitation. When you come, you come. Absolutely no issue with that.
Yeah,
Um, really mad shout out to Innate for helping me with the whole OBS situation. Oh my god, that was abysmal. And I apologize to the panel member and chat for the technical difficulty. And with that being said, have a nice evening, everyone, or day,
Bye,
or
everybody.
Thank
whatever.
you.
All right,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey.
And let me see OBS
Man,
and stop streaming. Voila.